can no kura na kyerɛ yɛ sɛ ɛkwan wɔ ne yɛfa so ebedi abo ɔman Ghana John Mahama na ɛkasa sa ɛtro twelve ni no ɛyɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia mɛsi mi gyina yɛ no. And you know my position. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Timim Bekanje, Sabre ya and Nam the Swa, ye sidi na huo ya tiaba from, say, a jay ye two aba man and sana, where Timabuama Sidino, and Yahuade, where a yatroni nada. Want to be convincing me? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and to be convincing Ghana and EBA say, Sabre ya, a kada ya suya ya da kamina mi, ya two aba mana. Wababa yen shebi sarebaya aban be ebe hye ne ho so wo sikadie mu sikaseye mu no wontimi beka nje se eje ye to abama na ansa no watu sa na mo no because sabra ye kasa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia one the head of the economic management team 4 months ya kasa 3 months ya kai o wakwenya bia onyame dia ma no bia se enoma ya wo kan obetima ye amena baso eso de no mo ye o meja o man na to nchen e no mo nam and no more pray a pet to me. Meanwhile, a dinner, what the bachelor say, where ya my yenti, mon chasso, and fantomamino, woman be the threat. Ain't it a Ghana for a young mutation about miano? Messema da Samusiana, Moon Missa Bisan and some. I dear Baumia, one man who coin, to say the Mahama man who coin, will book on boxing arena. Say Ghana for maybe Sanasam. Sabre Gram Mahama wa for a man to me. Yes, answer and the Juma the Nobana Riano. Obesa bodwama ne ho kwan ama mabura bebusa ne nsam te se de oye obu komi baba omi anya saade no because wo suro se obi bekwa ko bisa asem bia ebeye den se obeyi ano ba omi anim saade ne ye wonim akuntabuo su no ani omumu se ye de obuo ne ani de magana fo ama Ghana fo kwan so mo bebisa bisa nsam a efa kwan a ye fa so de omusika eye anwuma omo makwan da. And you want these people to come into power? No more day. On my question, say mine. Shadia Prophet Kofi Amponsa, Ekache MPP Aban. Who is away? Prophet Kofi Amponsa.
Politician Ampontu me so.
Mamiano.
24 Ghana for your community. Amen. Amen. Meya Mohammed Tai. Magana from Mama worry. Amen. The politicians say you talk Munsam, you talk pity or Munsamwa. I mean, it may be a friend of young boys. Now, why you want papa? Amen. I'm going to say, I'm going about to say to me $1 million at the 2 film will be better. Because she have formed a comako. And my brother have come for saying, Mema. See, I'm people for me. See me here will be up school. Be grab me money. Be more fun. Chance I'm a cancer. Onion with someone and perform local school. Someone chimney chow be here. They say me and talk about me. Pen graduate be na make it. So there may be in the tear. Some of my personal. Which we got down almost 6 inches. Our top hill, I said, top hill. I'm afraid I said, Father, so I'm afraid I said, hill top. Chairman, someone to be total asphalt. Our baby, a young see die. Inches in the chest. Not a bit of a trouble, my woman. Shabantibanka, more force.
It's any brenna, but a bit here. I saw them gromoka. Tie, woman at a word no crowd funnel. A can no crown said yes, city, or mon shan no crown not tidy. So, say, Obi, a Kagana was some. Now yes, a Baba so over defending Kofo Wema. Nientia yana man for swa o manugu so and they say, oh ya oni atete and you woni apinyesie a man for a feminine. Eye adia ya Nikano woka I was so can wabufusumu. And yes, a mabuni muadio. And yes, ye need some penny fo. No ya oni atete ne said ye mercy I say ye dachi si campo madiarie. No matter how bad I say, you have to me, mamma. Say, yeah, I want it today. Now, why would I hear you? Mammy, mamma, tried you. Where the young Casami, mammy, a bontesu, mammy Gadini Bano, a bontesun was here, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Not you, Mahmoud Bawumia, your vice president of the Republic of Ghana, head of the economic management team, solid team, no, one on a dano, one on a nan, what you better know for him say, what $10 no, they are 2%. And the key number IGP. It is a net wabawon chance wo petumia. And then was all the children near why. So who's one for bisa one bed jiwa. Nasi children say, Baumia ni opposition. Basha mami gadini, a brana Baumia ba na wosu, na wakan sembi, sa Baumia be you move free sadiano. Papa Baumia Korean and Wabemu, carry away. So Baumia Bona Pro, Koswada video no, Baumia Ba Pro with Ana mami ani abria wosu wose wo ye manadesua mu wo ya setena mu ye bro ye ahokyera ba ye bro ti ba mi abaje ye yo ba mi akuru ya wa kwanya sa abre ya ye kasa mami se wo hwem wo ba bi ya mesra mu ada obi a wonim no bia muntwa video mfama no se mami wo hwem wo ba bi ya mesra de oye na enfom so tia o my Ghana esunzum ne kra wo obi su kire na enye ba Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and apam na woni ye ko ye in 2016 no na kyeresa wo ba enoma ya na wo bobo so a wo so nyina wo ka kyeresa obedi hudwuma wan ti we ni hudwuma enti wo haw ne sai adenti na wo so so kyerɛ no and san no ma we ni aya ya ma omutirima aye omuda omugusu a wo mu de haw ne amane eto yeso wo man mu ha mesi mu hia ba wo mia na emoma no school fees wonsem moma no free SHS adejinjan haw ne amane a moma ne fema ede adeso abeto mo so no mu hia ba wo mia mo ka nkyerɛ no Monka cheno na mumusa ne se adenti no de sa hawo na ba na monka si na nimpan se tumi no obehu be won si woda eno na kire se moye omamma mo wa kokoduro ba de ya soso mu so yi ebe mo mutiri ma yo mo de amo madwen se boni no mo ye oman no e ya de pa de se ehu omo an yesuso omo so no yehu omo an yesu afro omo yehu omo a ne ebo mu dia kese and honorable na his excellency what is excellent about the way mama of my Ghana sika say e dey na excellent about it e botel abetina say what ya good mu nsem ba but last one papa ya na wo compare Professor Nana Jane to a year your friend say Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe omo nyina ya bede chefo but your comparison bi oye would you tie wait ya wa na fe ye dia would mu samaba
akufu ado ne no ma wo yi ntino party ni begu itomopre and I thank God sir in all these years and no ma boni I've been seen akufu ado ne don a plan for Ghana who through the Japadie I mean drafted deal na omoye ya na say omoma ne course wa motia for repaying the fee no na elusa say enkrofo we ni hu ne say me listen nyan san shede ni omutri omon sheda nyan enkrofo bia sebi omodwene ti sebi nipa dwene anase omo remorse anase omo ye enkrofo bia they feel pain omodisi jini kwa so o man so be kone no a yede nyame ase eje eba wo enya bedu e de ba sana me pa kire napo obeba so me video na chemo don't worry ye bobo video no bra ni ti abo no nsia pa wo se maduonum mienu wo ye mfaton prof ni napo ni ensusu ye do muntam ne wo se Ghana fo hu ena nyame kwa no meka so obi abekasa bi na we nyina ekoso no so na imani Africa e de abetudwa allegation de abetudwa ni was it there's a grand plot by government to establish a Japa through the back door and there's a need to demand a forensic audit into the creation of that new Royal Ghana Gold Refinery. Sir, Royal Ghana Gold Refinery now almost say yebe jina so anane yesika kokko na ye no maybe wo my Ghana hey mama yenya forensic audit tieme we your minority leader na wutie Dr. Kase Atoforsen Ghana for any down so and na de oye o parliament near fili Kase masa obi ntimi nkura dual citizenship em yen Kase ye man be MP
Emma Tran, say, Obi Sukra, the same thing. Yes, or may a Supreme Court judge, Mosamo Peneso and Penesotra, Saku Quadrono Dynadi. Was Sabre, your Mopesomotis, gold refinery company, our Mopesomodia Japacham, more film and in them. Now, dear mamma Hokai, I want him beer, move beer, move to me, and dear Sil Quine, Musi Hokai. I was Yami Casa Yawa, Yakwa. I would have some browson, a trouble crown. We said you would tell us you're great. And you said, and I want the best see me. Ghana 7 dorsal. Ghana 7 dorsal, baby. I do know Yama, and Yam Brown. About me, a babuno. Yes, Sabran yet on. Yes, Sabran, and yet on.
Be back. I cast it. He cast. He don't cast.
You don't cast.
He don't cast.
Anyway, I could almost get a cost to pay.
All right, and Udim say Etanasi no pay a good one in summer Ecoso, our fin semu, and now on in semu, and I don't pay so yet the Abraham, Yeberum, Udim say Ghana, Black Princesses, Omuko, Colombia, World Cup, no air basso, and to Andra, Piemu, Ewa, Isano, Omo, or Quarano, into Edhunsem, Ebra Sansu, and Ebeba, a inauguration for Takwati and Nepak. Udim say at a Friday, and also air basso, and also near Cosinano, no say Rebel Sansu, and the Super Cup, air basso, our Poland, and Bonte so near Cosso Hobiano, no say Bebro, they transfer news, no Udim say transfer news, no, and I said transfer window, no, a bit closiano, and check near closey, Hisiano Deosuno, to me echo yepa, near Cosso Hoinano, a Bebro producers, Roger Imano, the sportsman and a Kojo, Fosu Fandi, Udim say Dovita Hebaknik, and I at National Poya, Omobua, na Gudim and Sam and Apoeno, yet the Ebremo, now Omo the herba medicine for crabba, I don't know, a bois, say waist pains. And how Bama Wayambre, Ewon pain, sounds and a body pains, waist pains, prostate cancer. Now, would Junso, prostate gland, I am weak, would Junso, Maye, would Junso, Philippines, Niano, I was say, we should Dovita, herba medicine, Bina Wonom, now it to me a son on a bibia, a coye, a day amount. And you know, Dovita Herba Clinic, almost 24-hour delivery service, nationwide, and you know, time I'll pay Biano with their friend number is 0246 265313 and a 02055868877. WhatsApp number and so 02055868877. Dovita Herba Clinic was good health is our concern. Omo awoshi elang taxi station. Eho pepe and omo ntino utumi eremu ha edro no benya bi na wanom onoma bibia bekoye ede amamezo edi amejeso ebo tell yen hensem na se na yen free the Ghana Football Association President Tanidin Educate Simeon Okreku odim say 2024-2025 season ya be shas ya no na mostly say a share season nasia and as a season e koso a e referees no complain no e na doors too much last season you say coaches bebre na mo complain no na suspension e bi nso e fine omo ne ade na way and na ye keto kreku aba bontin abaka say o see referees no mistakes dey eba even wo call Champions League mu a UEFA Champions League mistakes wom World Cup mistakes wom sanso and na Euros a ye bowie na nsia no so mistakes no na e doors so enti referees no omo ye nipa enti sometimes nya and farmer referees. Now, so no, or share him say, obey asolve near a work Ghana referee ni munina. Yenti and Sama, Ghana Football Association President, Kate Simeon Okreku, Edituja.
Go into games as individuals, they read the laws of the game. Sometimes they get it right, which we expect most often. Sometimes they get it wrong. Even in the most established and structured jurisdictions, World Cup, European Champions League, Europe nations, they get it wrong sometimes. What I need from you is for all of you to support me in removing that canker. Oh, with your just like you, sometimes you go behind the console, even it happens. I've been a journalist before. Split second, the referee has made a mistake, and because maybe it's a club that has big followers, it becomes a big story. Sometimes because of emotions, I didn't a mistake, but the decision didn't go in favor as expected. For again, Mr. Remo, let's find the time and also learn. The referees are human beings. I'm not saying we have a perfect issues on the laws of the game.
Way and Sema Ghana Football Association President Ket Simeon Okreku ni somebody atu John Yefio na ye call the Black Princesses unim say omugina kono the den World Cup a course e Colombia na say ebe course e Colombia no enra na mbabawa no free Ghana ometumi epie mu a omukọ Colombia hwe nim say e wo emra ye we 7th time Ghana ye room e wo under 20 emma no omo World Cup no na unim say 6 times ayakori na Ghana yentumi free group stage entru ye hwe nim say for this time no ye betumi room na ya qualify free the group stage na ya knockout stage quarter final semi final na finals no kra yetumi room o ha ye hwe nim say bibia bekoso e di ama emba unim say campaign no e hyase e wo Cape Coast e na eda e Monday no omutumi ebepie mu e wo Ghana ombepie mu e wo Accra emro mbepie mu e wo Accra no Aveno All Stars e na mbabawa no etumi eni omo ball e ayankofa akansi a eno so no omu hwe nim say preparation no bibia enso ebekoso e di ama omo na ye kan mu say August 31st e na World Cup no emma ne de no ebetumi ahyase enti no ye hwe nim say mbabawa no the Black Princess no bibia enso ebekoye e di ama omo ye first match a ye betumi abono ye was September 2nd yani Austria and betumi ye di esieni Ghana ye wia na ye ni Japan and New Zealand na ya sanso ye di esieni we a group e matches a Ghana ye woma ye hwe nim se bibia ebekoso ye di ama emebawa na omukọ no ana babawa baako a ono no e ba full back left back wa onim boye pan comfort ye bo a odin sem kakra atudwa se o se o sre Ghana fo nyina obi amfa mpaibo and it support enfanta omochi ye ntie comfort ye bo a ni sem a odi atudwa
se wake up na yekono already say be free group stage na yekọ na boy ho modern e obi a dream say obekọ wake up na menyanum Ghana for yekọ na esrem mpaibo ne ma ho odre mun support ye nkoso afa mpaibo ne entire chi entim kwaje trophy ni mla Ghana
enti no comfort ye bo a enka na etie no ye hope say emabawa no omukodru a September 2nd ye first match no ye hope say omuni Austria no Ghana bibia bekoye na ye win ye first match second match no so Japan mu ye din pa nanso no ye bompa ye say bibia bekoye e di ama ameba for the first time etumi qualify every the group stage e wo emma no of under 20 World Cup e koso e wo Colombia no ye mfiri ho na ye nko ensefo fro so a na ye nko club football unim say eda Friday e wo Takwa TNA Park no inauguration no e koso a ye bie e park na say stadium na no we media soccer club stadium Goldfields Ghana etumi aya amom nti no eda Friday and officially impenifo etumi ebie e stadium na we na aya Santi Kotoko uko omo head coach adidin e de prosper na te ogum osi match na eda Friday e ba so no osi a good preparation pa e de man boys ni esanse omunya any tough opponent bia emfa omon boy preseason nti no preseason no a good preparation e de momo eda Friday match a omni media ma edibetimi abodo yentie prosper na te ogum
opportunity because we've now assembled with almost all our key targets now in now. So I think it's good for us because we'll have about 2 weeks to train and then whatever we have done, we'll have the opportunity to exhibit it at Mediama and it will give us as a technical team and as management a fair idea of these players individually and what we have to do. Remember, after the game, we'll be left with only 3 weeks for the league to commence and 3 weeks will be enough for us to correct individual errors, group errors, and then team errors. So to me, playing against Mediama in a new stadium and looking at the old rivalry between Kotakwa, I think it is going to bring the best out of the players, the best out of the technical staff.
Prosper na Teogum head coach Ede Emma Asante Kotoko nka na yeti do him say o kasa no o kan set sisi no akamu 2 to 3 weeks na matumi aye preparation ahead of the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League season run away and aye Kumasi Asante Kotoko what him say omo camp no say preseason no aye Kumasi and omo ye preseason no na after say omo ye preseason no efi Kumasi no say omo Kotakwa eda Friday a omo fita kwa pe na sisi no omo ko Elmina eho na preseason no omo ko hye and so omo ko to aso for the second phase of the preseason you know after say Kumasi Asante Kotoko omo ne aye Media Soccer Club ebowie eda Friday a ometumi ewrem Elmina eho na second phase of the preseason nso no ometumi atoa so eho yenko ensanwu from dia na ye ginamu ewo Media Soccer Club head coach no ayam ne bossa capo ono so eden nsem kakra atudwa se o se ni team no o se ne nia Japan esanse training na omoye ahead of the season no o se eso nipa yentie ne bossa capo ni nsem ode atudwa
for me, the most important thing, players are keeping perfect focus on everything, what is our content, and this is great because from training sessions, always we must take or pick the most what content is giving for our players, and really they understand everything perfect, working very good, and everything what I saw from training sessions are giving me good feedback, and we can grab everything. We determine like our goals. This is
head coach Edima Midiama Soccer Club na boss akapo ninka na yeti no yemfiri ho na yekọ ensewu from there na yenko Hearts of Folk across of folk akache na yewo no unim se Abdul Aziz Nuruddin ono oye midfielder Edema across of folk now injury into no as a season 2023-2024 season no or say ankoye into no season no ankoye na wentumi enya fitness entumi ambo season no sisia no officially onankasa ababontin abana announce say sisia ne ho ato na o hwe nim say Hearts of Folk ebetumi afriend back na season 2024-2025 season no wetumi aboa Hearts of Folk yentie ensema Nuruddin editu ya.
All I want to tell them that I am fit, and my trainer will even testify more or attest to that I'm fit. They shouldn't bother about any number 6 anymore. I'm fit and I'm back for good. And also, I'm waiting for Hearts of Folk now to give me a call to come join the team back. But all I'm saying that for now I'm okay. I'm ever ready. So I'm waiting for Hearts of Folk to call me to come join the team. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm fully fit and ready for the job because I had series of trainings while we were playing the second round. I started training, so calculate the month till now. You can see that I had a very cumbersome training. It was plenty, sections upon sections. So if you will do your calculation well, you should know that I'm fit by now because I didn't rest at all.
And you know Abdul Aziz Nuruddin and can I tell no or say or train say Hearts of Folk a bit me after na 2024 season no with me aboa Hearts of Folk and so yenko and say from there na ye call Division 1 league unim say Division 1 league no ye wie na new season no e best start na way and Ghana Football Association officially omode e fixtures no for zone 1A, zone 1B, zone 2 and zone 3 no officially omode ababonti na 24 e dia to dwane say officially no a new season no Access Bank Division 1 league no a new season no e best start September 27 to 30th and no and start and no 2024 year and starting to no ye sure him say next month no bibia beko year Division 1 league no so no etumi a start na Division 1 league no starting no weekend no sisia no midweek matches no 24 ye free o esan say almost kana teams ni bo no on person mo so etnisia no midweek match bia eno sanso na December and also no 1 week break and so betumi akoso esan say general elections and so betumi akoso nti sabepe and am 24 e dia to dwa yenko awone na yentumi ensoro so dia na wonim say ende e Poland 7 p.m. Real Madrid versus Atalanta e UEFA Super Cup no mtini ye hwe anim say Real Madrid so betumi agi omo fit ever UEFA Super Cup na wonim say UEFA Super Cup no Champions League winners etumi agi 16 times sanso na Europa League winners nso no ometumi agi 8 times nti ye hwe anim say ende Atalanta and Real Madrid ebetumi e dia pims na kai etiefo ne ahwefo say wonim say endra training no e koso no na Real Madrid player ni din e de Eduardo Camavinga oni Chouameni etumi enya encounter bi na after say encounter ni course no abrante no ase we pra and then match no ontumi embo bi ntino Eduardo Camavinga and then match no officially we free man and that test betumi akoso a omuhwe nim say no betumi atono ema next week La Liga Shase no so no wetumi abobi enso ho na match no ekoso Real Madrid head coach Carlo Ancelotti and then Sam atudwa afa match no yentie no
I think Atalanta, they're in the game tomorrow because they deserve it. They won the Europa League. The manager is incredible. He's got a lot of experience. He's a friend of mine. We worked together before at Juventus. I have a good relationship with him. Tactical, he's a very good manager. And tomorrow we're expecting a tough game. They've got a few injuries. And I think it would be very competitive tomorrow.
enti no ensama Carlo Ancelotti odi tu dwa no ye hwe nim say na bibia beko ye 7 pm na match no eba so ye kai mu say Wasau ana say Poland eho ena sa match no so no etumi eba so ewo ho ende unim say Aaron Wan-Bissaka na say Aaron Wan-Bissaka osina kan edema Manchester United officially we pm West Ham esan say sisi no Man United no echi no aye tight pan so more floaty players bi enti no Aaron Wan-Bissaka officially no wetumi akọ West Ham United 15 million pounds ena etumi epm na ye kai etiefo na ahwefo say Manchester United omo de 50 million pounds ena edikoto Aaron Wan-Bissaka ena omo aton no 15 million pounds and so enti no officially no wako West Ham sanso na Chelsea so omo hwe nim say eye abranted din ede Osimhen ono so ofi Nigeria sisia no osina kan ede Napoli no omo hwe nim say eye Dela Lukaku ebetumi epiem Napoli no ebetumi aye exchange na sika akran so omo de apeso enso ede ama Napoli enso sanso na Chelsea sisia no officially Kopama ometumi extend the contract no Siano 9 years and our branch no obetna eye Chelsea 2033 and our branch no obetumi atena ho ache into the sabepe and ekoso sanso and a PSG and Manchester United omoni Manuel Ugarte and Siano omashase omudi nkomo esanse preseason na eye PSG ekono Manuel Ugarte di enka ho bi enti Manchester United ashase omni PSG discussion mo hwe nim se Manuel Ugarte betumi epiemu Manchester United enti no ye den nsem nyina esia Kwame kan atenasia odi Dwabo Ase eto aso edi amayen producers Roger Emmanuel the sportsman and Akojo Fosu fan de menso dino Ebo Taylor Kwame kan eto Dwabo Ase so edi amayen.
The youth is on fire. 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 Ebo mama nsa hwe dadiem kafra. Abusia Dwabo Ase ne Ebo Taylor de agudie mo nsema brɛ yɛn. Ye da chinti ye ni abre. Ye trama abusuafo bi mfa ejapade nwoma bi embeje oman Ghana mboso. Ye trama saade wezi. Ombefa wonwa. Wo mu wia no ma yo mo so han bafo. No ma bayanim, no ma pepo ma no. Te se de hwi nsi ye. Ai nya twompadie. No wa pepa na no asata di fita. Abegere wanim te se de hwi nsi ye. And I guess I get for baby that coming and I guess I got an ibabru be shame wo hemi did and is that what the assume na no business no one said a hifa crowd and menya sika na media didie and then na me said a bear sika beba me boto ma brantie na me ti be die tia me danka and na won kura 1 year advance I am few won kura 2 years advance I am few and na owufo bi hwa me wo tie me sabre wo bisa no say ne bai du sua pon level 100 and then no be no dia kope 2500 no dia tisa ka ye free ho atono ni adwendwen na zamanyoko bi kotena dem na wo tietia manfo nsem eba abonten ebe ka chosa sa aka no wo befa na manyoko a wo sie se wo de free SHS baaye eti baabi e kasa gu se enyeye dio mo kan nya nnukre na wo ye we wia ehia for man na omobeko level 2 and 300 no obey your money. These are genuine questions, but you see question on can say free obi foforo on eba but omo free omo ho ba no omo sie say wo mo di profit wo kwaso e the free SHS aba anu nti yem omo yam tonyo from no omo ho asa question ni free ba no eno na ma asem ni yeso rich. But the Germany abre was answer me remember so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was saying adaje wo fragmentum wa cheche sanhye ni mu wa cheche kwan yo mo ba fa so anya sika e dia tai sanhye na chi amna wo afebo ye be boy tonton sansa no pe be na no pe wo dial star 274 hasha won sabetimaka 500 Ghana cedis tie me asem ya maka me fa na agudie kura fa na ni bresam dial star 274 hash star 274 hash sada baya sika dodo ya ye man won sabeka bi e 500 Ghana cedis any edema enedai ba no pay so me cause let's talk educational consult e ye suku surunku bi o mu gina Montessori ene indec kwano so e de tete ye man sada baya o madwene mu ba bie no manya dache pa bi and I can say, Muguso Mojin Quadano, the Wadi Bosuminsia, Cosinia, Wadi Viencia, yet they show Massy ye. no more a real year. Job entrepreneurship, public speaking, technology and art. When you enter the let's talk education consult. We shall make your acquaintance there. We're touching Ungwa State, Mango Street. From 0249-069-821. 0249-069-821. Mr. Mama, we at your Facebook. Mosha link it on. Abubakar Abdul Razak. Rabiro Felix Josiah. Christy. Nuchikpi. And Professor Patrick Mensa. One name Marigati. Ko Mensa Pilatu. Munina Yahumo. Oh, Facebook Live. George Hene Medase. Somebody at Channel Pay. Meko baby a dying one besi CS market to be na fe yabo etonto sansan.
If I show Brana, make sure you're bad.
Brade, and not so good.
Not all of them see about Queen Wayne say.
Bra, said your time about Misha, as your Jimmy fearful, and not your back ever so.
Really, don't this offending now.
Bra, so make us a midi time about Misha one dance ya. We are singing now about Timinka. 87 malaria, where granny time about Misha.
And you go, the enemy to want to meet any deal. What granny time about Misha? A drink and your ma or bar waffle through. The one ma for down for.
Konkoya najasa samaba na sawote Konkoya najasa samaba na sawote konkoya natural samaba.
I'm going to start with a very simple riddle, and I hope that we all know the answer to that riddle. I was a running mate in 2016. I touted myself as the economic whiskey. When the economy beat me like a drum, I quickly pivoted my area of expertise from economic management to digitalization. Whom am I?
I am more of fire Sanum and Yadi, Bobiachi, Ubano, Yaka, nobody uses no waka. Now, this government, the Yakula,
Saunti Konkoya.
Nature say, oh, fire.
Oh, yeah, fire no pay. Wabra Yabo, Toto Sansa with Dwabo Ase, our power 97.9, and Offensive TV XYZ. And some of the one I any kind, Eddie Atuani. Fibra Missiao, a brown Nicas, a bote, a berry, because he bray said you made your Nazi, ever since that time. Yet was so, yet was so, dear free baby, I had to hear. Now, yet was so, dear Nia Busa or moi, or more, say, Womujina and Profimu. Frumpi, Anna Montuoso, Eddie Free such as a buyer. Wabra yes is good dying. Wabra Yen Pesicanto, Wakwaya Yabafaso, Ashes a program to Bejinan and Naso after year 1. And Nessanko Fui, Echo many, Eddie Abacha Banya, one also Nam Kwanza Waba, was say, ya mayo mube kosu ya pono wamo mo level 100 no saa kana be ya deswa ama awofo wofanom nananom sewanom no wo beswa saa ka no wo abra owo anamontu ahodo a wode beso mu wo abra o makọ the next level e ho de o manti o baby o mute ni level 100 ye no saa nkofo e be ka che Ghana fo se enyi saa nkofo ye o mu wa ban mu a abai ahweye omampanya ahweye me de sende o meseka obai mampanya ahweye seat of the president Flagstaff House Jubilee House sika omo se ye didi o manum a omanfa nya bibi papa bia a omo se eno no mo de bobra eye 2 billion Ghana cedis afi wenkwa just this year alone 2 billion Ghana cedis 2 billion afi wenkutu sika presidency si wode bo ne bra no Sika was say what they nante what they did what they took what they nane and what they yen and woman 2 billion. So if 2 billion you better be pia and you call presidency yet to be yasa sika groya and fan gura a year sua pound and gura my wura mufufro I'm 1 level 100 yan fan gura yet to be fangura sashi say mu and swaka mo asembisa no nin and ye how free I will for more.
Say the 2 billion become mampanyin atnae just in a single year.
Yes.
Adentina yenya sasika krone bi a bimpo enusa. Ni mfa nhwe ye nuanu ma wo beko so apomu a wo ba befiase wo.
Hwesika ye de tu amena in the name of Yesi asodan e de amanyame. Hwesika sisa nkofo mpase. Hwesika egu nkofo politank mo. Hwesika ye de aside enyuma ahodo wo mamu ha. Hwesika ye de collapse banks. Wabra sa sika na ye di collapse banks no emfasudi na yes ye benya no besi na ye nyae sika kro na ba akufufa ye no de akoto bro nyadua keke ye di bika ho ye timi fa hwe ye nuano mo yi sa sika kro ya o mampanyin ne ba ankuto ni papa be ye o mampanyin ti wetimi akọ restaurant no ye timi fa sa sika bi ahwe Ghana fo eti no anya nwa wo fra mantem e bra no ba okudjetu abla kwa bra his excellency John Mahama bawura ho no wo mu bo odwa no mo ne nananom atena nkonyane Ghana fo ade hye wo fra mantem a wo not tom peso so edi nkomo no anya nwa se woni kasa mu no onabo Samuel okudjetu abla kwa wo ye not tom MP a wadi aban keta jane proye wonsem achi edoso mawurawura mu ade ahinta sem abetudwa anya nwa wo kwan a wo chekere said ya by way as you say your my Ghana sikasem hwade we mame.
The children business partners were far removed from state resources. That is the incorruptible leader the NDC has, and we are very, very proud of him. President Mahama ordered 150 ambulances when he was president. Never, when you check the records, an ambulance which costs $80,000, they are going to buy spare parts. at $113,000 per ambulance. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Meanwhile, we need money for the Podoi Abutia Road. We need money to revive Japan Texas. We need money to revive Aveima Rice. We need money to create more factories for our youth, to expand secondary schools, to establish a tertiary institution in the entire Ton Enclave. The entire Ton Enclave, we don't have even one tertiary institution. And yet, this is what Akufo-Addo and Bawumia are doing with our resources. And Bawumia, who said he will end sole sourcing, he is busy awarding sole source contracts, single source contracts to his brother's companies. We never saw this under the incorruptible President John Dramani Mahama. And that is why we are all clamoring for change. That is why we want the former president to return to the Flagstaff House, to reset our country, to rescue our country, to stop the corruption, to stop the abuse of office, to stop the disrespect of the Ghanaian people, to stop the reckless expenditure on things that do not matter to the Ghanaian. So the chiefs and people of North Tongue, today we begin a new journey. The journey to reinstate former President Mahama, to secure at least 94%, and to make sure that this country has hope again. That the children that you see today can grow in a country where there will be peace, there will be prosperity, there will be harmony, and there will be development for all.
Honorable Samuel Okuye to Ablakwa Migusu American say Obaba studio ani edi nkomo. Odo na ate de nka no. Me nim pass wo tie. Onipa ba no no. Eti na me de afa wo no. We another invitation. Honorable Samuel Okuye to Ablakwa mafre na afre na amehwe nim so Obaba studio na edi nkomo. Odo na ate de nka no. Asam no ka ne pain. And you see where asam da Ghana fo nyina no. Enye bibia nti ne yesa de John Mahama eba o. Sada ba ya to me ya yedi ahye nkofo yinsa wo mu de bu yensam wo mu de hye yesika wo mu de say yesika wo mu de say ye man no said be ya sa no ma wetu bedwa ambulance papers nsam ye okan hwe sika e ye man Ghana de a ya say wa sa scandal ni mo let's papers no kra ne bu no e ding say ambulance ne nyina. Can you imagine? Not dear, as some of Kafra, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ninia Berman, and then the Yeri company. Nano Samijan Fimu Bayer whole press conference. And yes, Omohuna Tomo Muyo. In fact, one Casa would do Suko. Now we are with you more to say, Nano Yadi one dance in the better. Who said Yomokana and Dr. Bawumia were opposition. A brand new pet to me. Was it so sourcing? So we did a company back so Nadia Bayjuma show no kwansa no Sadia na doso Mahama memumu Sadia ni ya di jinjan and your say bro mine yet ye ba be mo yen Sadia no for that casa alone so who say wana bemu wo ye bibisa eni se otomano sa casa no kwano What do you not tanya? Now susu career. What do for you? I was our trainer so she said Ninia Bema your friend Abraham Bawumia. One in the Hukanino. One more company no yet tam a buy contract and Yabakunya Mienu don't wanna Sunyai Ayi airport in CSA Coco Rosa Hodo yet tam the Shomon Kwanza. So now book Anthony Abbey Fakabu. 1 million no say Sabra and not covered about it now was here said you may just can you imagine? But in principle, who opposition will say so sauce and a idea a bomb yo. It is a general principle. The Wujina and I yadi you are tenya and your phone would you for and your so trainer was your true. I was here to us and your so trainer and your Jessica Debbie and one said Wabra Wabejina said won't pay to me no yem mau quite Debbie and my wing to me no yem quite now you found yourself at Sapa Pepe. Essentially, you don't demand him hammer time no. 1 year sad way, one for contract and man ebushafo, one for contract and money back, one funny back and go see a bank as you biano, one for airport company, and as a baby restaurant be and go money back. And so near Bawumia and the Akufo-Addo every year. One grand or can't ask him the churches I didn't yet, and the young issue. Me for 2 minutes I want him. And the Agusa, no. And you see, so many Nama Bontina or more Chachamoa, a young show my home farmer. I saw me a high buffalo. I saw Wendy Bonita, Basan Kofway, and a number almost one. And then I'm mania nana no wotono. sika kuma bi no ene hwe sika dodo a wo hia ansa na de ato wo de ato amane e de ato fufuo so ene hwe sika dodo a wo hia ansa na de ato meko atwi e de di wo dokono ene nche na mbo hwe ba bi eda eso mo ba ban wo de no manka ayo ene hwe de mo peso mo de ya droba fo hwede omo person mo de ya droba for eba your friend say eba mo distract akwe eba your friend say insurance ne ho nkro no bana hwede omo person mo de ya droba for
nene ubeka kire yen say adraba for license any den it afedi uba be extend no only policy bia
anything and no concern drivers ka kire wo
yeah
e wo TV show say
yeah
manin to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say enye ye hia de no
debi
ye hia de no na dwama ma aboso no say ye pe ba bia ye de ye car no besi say de bia manfo be ba be foro
sa pepepe
ye pe ba bia ye de ye car no besi na ho no mpo no yenya ba bia ye benya say e ya yare sabia ene no man kitinkiti bia ye hia be boa ye drivers day ebe say ye nkuran say ye ya droba for eno ne ye hia de
eno ne ma hia wo
so ne ntia mahama etimi kasafa Ghana how epe Ghana solutions and say why mampanya wo ba from eti amanfo asem ba umia nam kukukukuku ono kwa na dwemu kasa na wo de hye Ghana fo so ba wonya kwan enti Ghana fo eti wonim Ghana fo problem eti wonam na Ghana fo yekuro eda ho na oguso ade ne nsa ene ne bawre etwitwi kuro ni mu na wo briye kuro yi eno na de ani braba eti se mama no wo fra mountain no wo ka se mom yenye very mama ye ma ya adwen enko MPP for propaganda so a na ne ka no wo ka nie.
In 2020, if you look at the results we got in Volta region, we got above 84%. But if you look at the 84%, it is not the highest we have gotten, because in Rawlings' time, MPP used to get single digit in Volta region. In 2020, they have climbed, and in 2020 they got 14%. And so it means that they are making inroads into the Volta region. Now, what do? They use propaganda, and they come and tell you that you vote for NDC all the time, and yet NDC has done nothing for you. And so even though we can see what we have gotten under NDC, the propaganda is so strong that we actually believe that NDC has done nothing. And yet, if you take the Volta region, from electricity to water to education to health to roads, everything that you find here in Volta region was provided in the time of NDC. And any time the MPP comes into government, development of infrastructure in the Volta region comes to a halt until NDC comes back. All the roads we started, Dwabo Adidome Road, we're about 80% complete. The fact that we had even reached 80%, that road would not have been continued. Look at the road from Dwabo Podoi to Abutia. We had a contractor working on it. That road should have been long finished by now. As soon as we left office, the road came to a standstill. When NDC was in office, Dwabo Textiles, we revived it. It was working. People had work to do. Today, what has happened to Dwabo Textiles? NDC invests in things that will benefit the people, their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren. When we provide electricity, you're not the only ones going to enjoy it. Your children and your grandchildren are going to enjoy it. When we provide drinking water, you're not the only ones going to drink that water. Your children will come and drink that water. But what the MPP does is, they'll come and choose amongst you 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And when they steal the money, they'll give them some. And so they also will come and give you 200, 200, 200, 200. And you say, oh, since we started elections, nobody has given me 200, so I'll vote for MPP. but you forget that the more lasting development, the more lasting benefit, that benefits not only your community, but generations yet unborn, you forget that it was provided under NDC's period. And so, let us be careful of that propaganda. They're going to come with a lot of money. They've made money in 8 years. Their war chest is full. But remember what happened to them in Asen North. You heard about Asen North by-election. So a song came. Yedi, 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 oh, chasopoku sikano, yedi. If somebody steals your money and the person brings your money back to you, there is no kwelekweji matter in this one. And so collect the money and chop it. I say no, they chopped the money, but they went and voted for the truth. Nobody has died from kwelekweji in Afrin for chopping that money.
No Pelekweji. No Pelekweji. Very simple. No Ehibia. Why was sick? Was somebody puntu nyumano? Why was sick? Was somebody akwan? I was somebody see suku dying. I was somebody see ayare sabiano. And no ma kotenasia diagu baby. Yeah. And ya twan ma abatu obraso. And no ma sa dia begina when him say na to my wojia di idiria tutia omo. It's a two more mo. Edrubia ni wabeku. And you see, your mama, President Mama, yeah, I can say me say, a yana NDC proper MPP for propaganda. No, I know share to the point say, what to me, ya, my walk around, what you say, hey, now say NDC grab by one by you. They said the musica, a musicano, I know, sir. Ye disikano si wonu tutiano yes etu ma no kware gina ho no kware be ma won abraba konkan no kware di mputu be bra won no se no ye e wo asinos e no ka kire won te honye kumawu eti president Mahama say voter region from anthem yeah they deserve better you enyem propro wa amanfo adi awia egu forma ye be sesade abra nkofo enya no bi no mopo dabi voter deserves better you voter region e deserve empuntu a ebe wo ho afebo ya empuntu eso beba mfaso ede ama awon toatoaso ya enye empuntu eso beba mfaso ede ama abusua bi ene na awon toatoaso be empuntu eso beba mfaso ede ama Ghana fo nyinara sapepepe so Mahama say voter deserves better you know.
We need the majority of seats, and therefore we need all our MPs back so that we can begin the work of reviving this economy that has been destroyed by Bawumia and Akufo-Addo. And so vote massively. And I hear the operation is 94%. The chairman says it will be 95%. And I know that you can do it. And once you do that, that should send a signal to all the other constituencies that we must re-establish NDC's World Bank here in Volta region. We don't want 84%, we don't want 85%, we want above 90% in Volta region. And so I present to you your member of parliament and parliamentary candidate for 2024, the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. My good friend and colleague, I was in parliament with him. He likes to speak his mind very openly, Kennedy Ejepong. He advised his party that, look, go back and apologize to the people of Ghana for the hardship into which you have plunged them. And that is the truth. They need to apologize to Ghanaians. And when he said it, this finance minister they brought just yesterday, he is not part of those who have put us where we are. They got him, okay, you go and apologize. It's not his apology we want. He just came. Those who must apologize are, number one, Nana Akufo-Addo. Jack Toronto. and his younger brother. Number 2, the one who must apologize, is the head of the solid economic management team, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. And the third one who must apologize is their finance minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta. It's those 3 people from whom Ghanaians are expecting an apology. Not the current finance minister, Aminanta. So please.
It is Uncle Form no also Mobepa or my Ghana. You see, His Excellency John Mama, Mamma Casa Mitchell. Sasam Kennedy, Japan Becano, Nage and Dam. Yeah. Almost for Ghana for again say, see ye begina sabre ya kabosumi, bear me and sa, and then now what me and Sabia. Now ye part chawa, Ghana for the better, no matter Obama, son of my drink here, you. And you see, near Jana President Mama, adding a near chain called Fua, and was on my patch on, and they say, when in passer will bomb with your money, you. Bow me and me patch on that, and me patch on tonight. Can Oforia time me patch on that, and me patch on tonight. Yeah. Nanado Danko Kufuadua, one no Dwabo Ase na him for, Eti Akonya so wabra watch ya, was so much sorry in Wabano. One patch on that, and patch on tonight. Yeah. But these are the people who are the brain, the mastermind behind Atetene. I want you on my gun. No, woman, I said today, Wonga. Actually, one woman, I'm a woman about one thing. Young and I have one woman in this Japadia. I go for don't go on any you or friend of Japadia and Japa. Adie, a Japadia. Can you imagine? A Japadia memono, and yet the Ghana for the past 7 to 8 years. I'm on my Ghana that a caminum. I must say, Yashoka, Yentimin Kobos Yampo, and with Gama show. A teacher Jomama, Ebu said, what did Buffy when you pa? So I better wabo within say one more, and I was a babon thing, a patch on, or one patch on there, and patch on China. And a nunti tiame, Ghana near Wutiame, and nunti Ghana way. Some go for your Madia Bonia or my madrin say, or mom patch on tea, Jinasuna Fatuaba, Tititia, Jinasuna Fatuaba, mo. Na you are free one. Said a ya mammo for Frobaba, Nipa for Frobaba, you, Najidia for Frabura or my Ghana mu. Ow. And a Ghana for your mind said yes in Namano, say your coso to our casa and go for one to us. And in it, Jidiana, yes, Nimu say be free, a mouth for more mononia, one better video music I better maimono, and man matching, and man matching. Because one memo you and a companies I can say to say ENI, and then the home chronoba, every my Ghana cocody well. Oh. Eya memwo yimu ana companies akesia ya wo mu ba bie wo mu nyuma e wo my Ghana no mu ye nyuma e wo my Ghana no mu boa ama yesika semagina ne na so eya memwo yin hwehwe boni nti e no mafiri man wo mu nyina wo mu Cote d'Ivoire e Togo to the extent say glove no mu nyina wo mu come udune ho a wonti ase esan say won a yede tumi ahye won nsam no wo mu nka no kware nkyere yen mebede Baumia play Akufado allo finance minister kana ofalata mebede alakpatolo alakpatolo kana kware nkyere yen wo mu kana kware ntiam omanga na yen agija omangno enimonyam anase elidaso bia ni omanum ye hunya kono ayise mesa mamesa video no oba na Baumia nam dwoma na wo su no ye mo sa video ni bio just to conscientize our people and bring their attention to the fact say wa bra Baumia nam a war company e chesa wa di bi foforo oba no na Ghana fo na reality no wo mu no ahokyere no wo mu no egusu o mu su but you see the only problem with this issue and say wo so akere oniakro na enam ne so abone ne bai wo dey tie su frɛ we question is say yeah I didn't know obai wɔnam dwom a wɔahyia Baomi a wɔsu sa mɛmu ne yɛ sɔman yi tibia ne yɛ sɔman ne sikasɛm yɛ sa ahokyere ne man yi mu a adɛn na ɔbaa yi so kwesi wɔ sɛ yɛbisa yɛ ho no me sɛ wo a wohwɛ video wɔ bia baabi a wɔ sɛ woadwen kɔsie no sɛ Baomi yi a wɔyɛ problem no hwɛ yɛto aba ma nkɔɔfoɔ so ɔmo bɛyi yɛ haw ɛmfiri yɛ so te sɛ deɛ Pablo kan no yɛto aba ɛma amanyokuo sɛ wɔn bɛyi yɛ haw bi ɛmfiri yɛ so bɛnkɔɔfoɔ yi ɔmo yɛ MPP Baomi ne Nana Addo yi ɔhaw na ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo yi ɛyi firi yɛ so no ɛda so wɔ hɔ ɛna ɔmo ankasa nsaasa bɛyɛ ɔhaw ama yɛn eti ɛnɛ sɛ ɔba dwadini a wohwɛ me sɛ na wosu akyerɛ ɔhaw no ɛnyɛ nipa pa a ɛwɔ sɛ wosu kyerɛ no dabi nipa a ɛwɔ sɛ wosu kyerɛ no w'ani tua me mmɔ ne din ɛnkyɛw w'ani tua ba sɛ na yɛ boapayɔ anaasɛ bi anyansakwan bi so ɛna wɔfa so nso ɛde adan na de akyɛ Ghanafoɔ sɛ masa akwa ne nkasa nso ahokyerɛ wɔ hɔ deɛ ɛne maame wodi yɛ mo ɛsiane sɛ maame mema wɔ mo kɔsɔ ana ɛne saa
ɛsiane sɛ ɔmampanin Akufo-Addo ka kyerɛ sɛ Baomi ne awiase nyansa nyina kura no Baomi nti Ghana sika sɛ mnyɛnti ɛno nti na ɔde ne baeɛ
ɔno na head of that so consolation
nsuria ne wɛre kasɛ no dɛn ne yɛnyɛ hu solid economic management no ɛno ni ana eti wei ɔbɛgyina obiom sɛ to aba ma no yɛnya gyedi yɛnya awerɛhyɛmu wɔ ne mu ɛnyɛ sɛ bia ni hɔ a ɔde bɛboa yɛn biom
ɛnɛ nkɔmmɔ no baako nso nie nyame nkyɛ deɛ sɛ nananom atena nkonnwa saa agyapaa deɛ nwoma no meka no sɛdeɛ President Akufo-Addo ka no no ɔsɛ President Akufo-Addo ɔbɔ din ne ye ɔsɛ agyapaa deɛ yes saa agyapaa deɛ nwoma na ɔmo sɛ ankɔfoɔ bi na twerɛeɛ no nyame nkyɛ deɛ sɛ tɔgbi ahwɛ dɛ wɔnyɛ bia kenkan ɛhunu etirimupo a wɔn mu wɔfa ne nnwuma ho na waka ho asɛm no wabera President Mahama kɔɔ ne nkyɛn no waka ho asɛm ebisa sɛ saa etirimupo wei na ɔmo wɔ a ɛneɛ nkae no nso a ɔmo aka ne ne ɛnɔɔma ahodoɔ a yɛatwerɛ a ɔmo yɛ no nso ɛ wode yɛntie sɛ deɛ tɔgbi ahwɛ dɛ wɔ sika n'asɛm.
Recently, we are hearing about something called Ejapadie. And sadly, my company is also mentioned in that book. My small strategic African security is also mentioned in that book. I find it difficult to believe that that was a genuine document. But of course, certain things that we go through give us thoughts to the contrary. I recall that in 2019 thereabout, we received a letter for us to sign, pre-written in our name, to sign to resign from the group of companies that advise government on its bond issues. That came as a shock. Another time, we had a commercial paper outstanding with a state-owned financial institution that had not matured. Suddenly, we had debt collectors at our door demanding repayment of money that had not matured. So when I reflect on some of these things, then I begin to wonder. And only about 2 months ago, Iyoko was at a small factory that we own in Tema, Pioneer Kitchenware. It's just majority share owners of a company that is going through hard times, closed down. We're thinking of reviving it. And Iyoko was there because PKL allegedly was owing rates to Tema Development Corporation. And you wonder, what did Iyoko have to do with indebtedness of a small company to, you know? So when you look at all of these things, then you begin to rethink about your view of Ejapadie. But again, you just reminded me about my involvement in the startup of Data Bank. So that makes it even more surprising that after helping to found that company.
And then you make your mohona or mobile mama. after helping them to establish data bank. And that the mukroya and the mutramu akwatena them and a mabopo set me strategic Africa security no ye babe guno.
Can you imagine?
And you see was say akwanon the no one person obaje and woman no and inseminity nanso and no man one wangasa atoto no yoko any no maybe SCC wo my Ghana any development be abaninti he has no choice than to believe that agree on 1 year
no kware essence kwame talk be afede talk be me pacho ma me ka se bi kyerɛw mpanyin se unimo wu a ɛyɛ hwɛna hwɛnia wɔde ayɛ Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum ni company ni bank nyina wo megu no
ɛna ndum se sai
no ɛna o se mewo ɔbrunsam no hifa na ɔrekɔ ɛna ndum watwe to ni Facebook page
ɛna yɛ kasa ɛna da yɛ kasa
ɛna ya o se mewo ɔbrunsam no hifa na ɔre ɛkɔ
afani tirim
no kwam mi se send one casa on some toby, who can say, Brow, we establish a data bank now. One, Okuku, Olipa, who bra 1 year, no, and then one not down one to say, Busum Keto, I'm a one casa or person, Japanica company or person, Gunu, what champion. So, Etino, a Japan, yes, and your company go for the body, no. In some woman, and one who goes away implementing and Kakaka,
and then when you know, but I dream back what was a win and said, Nientia or more, eh, na sika bo amanfo bebre ya omo sika no simple said e be abusuafo no nko na benya sika na oma be tena Ghana for so wo de hwe said you must atena yeso for the past 7 to 8 years Ghana for kasa omo ntie debi ya kira no mo tun social gu yeso Ghana for cho madwin wo social media na ye chi omo gum Ghana for se fix the country omo se fix wa brabo
can you imagine
eti won said ye wa memum pono won said you must ayo mo ho sa no mabọ pono wo enwoma yi mu a omugu so omu dan na dia se omu timi implement bibia e won nwoma ni mu a say no mo ne ye betena wo my Ghana even in opposition eti kwa opposition won suro but the enti ajoma abeyi ade ehu a oboposo omu di omu last nyina ato so no mu siri kwan ema ne se wo mu suro se wo ba woman share no Jomama bedwagu omu suro sese wo ba Jomama enam se woni bibia to lose nti obetu omagum ahwe ama mra no aye adwuma
so
that is their fear
and one who suro
anything that nanado danko akufodo wo boni abaomia de adi ni nyina achie woda so di nachi you Ghana ni wuti revelation na mede ma no wo boni a baomia di eyi akufodo achie a wo yi na ma wo ka se enoma enya nyina no Akufo-Addo na ye de papa no ono na ye ni nyina achi Akufo-Addo di nachi because when you say baomia ba ba ma ono ankasa na ba eto begira baomia achi na omo hwehwe no abam you he baomia nka wo bi ana sa gold refinery ya ye pese ye de ejapa royalties ensemi wuramu waka wo bi ya hwehwe gold refinery company waka wo bi odimutintima ebra no mo pa company ne ho ntema no na woni dwumadie na se no wo ho ensemi wonka anwase mo pai waka ejapa royalties insemi his excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia wa bra Ghana for cho madwen se nya sa kwan we ene e pese ofa so no wonyina simpie so nhemu kina enka se sa pobo we eno na babo o my God
waka mpempi etinia ekokokosi nyina onimu bi eti Ghana u Ghana nya utie ye no hwe sa bre wonim na umma wadwini sise kakra bi ukoto abama ba omia mepa chawo na se Akufo-Addo tetem no de ama no straight
but you see ade ba ko so hunu nie enye say o ma say o man Ghana nkwanti and also to my NDC enye say o ma say o man Ghana nkwanti and also to ma Jomama we ni suade hunu and ni suade hunu na no opa mabunu ne chefa anase mabunu ne fa e wo mo manifesto no ho no opa wonto ma obia ehunu de wom na enra wokọ framantem no okasafa saa 24-hour economy na ebedi aboa mabunu no dodo na wakasa wie ya na tobi afede so ene ne de so good yentie mpanifo imienu nyomo kafa 24-hour economy.
Our democracy has become an enterprise that a few people are exploiting to enrich themselves to a detriment of the masses. Our country currently can be compared to an orphan who is being raped by the very people who have promised to take care of her. As I've always said, corrupt officials are like termites at the woodwork, eating at the very foundations of our democracy. Somebody wrote that corruption was almost unknown when Ghana had independence. But unfortunately, our name, Ghana, has become almost synonymous with corruption today. That is very sad. Corruption takes away from everybody else. It robs everybody else. The money that would have repaired our roads, given us hospitals, schools. It's always a joy to see you. Let me take the opportunity to congratulate you, first of all, on your 24-hour economic policy. As someone who believes in hard work, I believe this is what we need. And it's obvious that the application of this policy in the manufacturing sector can indeed be a game changer. When you buy plant and equipment, it is for you 24 hours a day. If you choose to use it only for 8 hours, there's a little chance that you will do well, because the manufacturers of those machines have made them to be operated for 24 hours, and that determines the price at which they are sold at. So I think it's a matter of course that if you have a factory, you want to see how you can keep the machines running always. With the advent of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, we in Ghana need to expand our production capacity so we can take maximum advantage. It has been established that we are far behind those countries currently in a pilot phase as far as exports to our counterparts are concerned. And I'm aware that Nigeria recently launched an ambitious $50 billion program to expand production and therefore exports to Africa, taking advantage of AFTA. So I think your policy is a sure way of making us ready to also export to other African countries. So it's a joy to.
Eti talk me after no. Yebetie President Mahama brand work kasafa 24-hour economy. Beranza no. Nasam yo kan talk me after asem o kan no. Ni nchire mu nie. Sa wo hwe bibi memu hase ya. Mo aya mo gasa 24-hour economy no. Ye beye na enfidi nyuma producer. Ehfa ne ye bekọ akoton. Hwan ne beto. Edwa no wo ho. To utie talk me after da. Wadan na di ba bi edwa no wo. Say bibi memu ati se de Kwame Nkrumah kan ni mire bi no. Yeni ye hunum dwa. Yenya ye hunum ade emom. Yenya ye ade emom. Eno na bebo amatumi ni sika. Aka bibi memu ha. Eti Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement yi. Na nhihye ne matter ho no. Ye beti ba take advantage. Na edwa na aye ready. Say enoma ye be produce wo man Ghana ha no. Etimi age no matter. Na sika na ba memu ha. Na Ghana enoma ye wo Ghana no so ahyeta wa bibi mema afa na nyina ana topic kan no wo afidie afidie no wa wo dia eda no so nyame na dia ma wo eda yi mu donhwere be aduonu nan ene ewo se wo chuzu se wo de donhwere nwotwe ene be ma afidie ya adwuma nia afidie ne be ya ma no eno na obenya ba se donhwere nwotwe ya wanyan wo chuzu se donhwere aduonu nan no ana obema afidie yi aye adwuma eno so wo no ma be produce amount good eno ma 8 hours be produce amount no enye no bi na 24 hours no be dey e be produce good e the amount it is how your mind a wo pese wo gina afidie nyuma so e ma mpuntuo ba enhyehyɛ wo hia e betima aboa ama sa ni so de hunu na bam e 24-hour economy e tititia it is all that ebi kɔ na ebi ba ɛyɛ 133 formation
133 formation
adwuma baako
biasa
Ghana kuakuo miɛnsa tie me adwuma baako Ghana foɔ kuakuo deɛ miɛnsa ɛna afei nso damu no nyinaa no yɛkyɛ mu miɛnsa ɛtiatia mɛma obi ntira baabi nnadaw ɛnka sɛ ɛna NDC foɔ ntimi nkyerɛm ɛnkyerɛseɛ na anie ɛnkyerɛseɛ no NDC foɔ de aba ɔmo aka ɔmo mpɛ sɛ ɔmo mbɛte aseɛ no gyaa ɔmo wo na wo ho hia ɛyɛ John Mahama ɛne NDC foɔ ɔmo tɔn asɛm yi wa wotie yɛ hwɛ yɛ no asɛm yi a wokan ɛtɔ asomu anaasɛ ɛntɔ asomu sɛ ɛtɔ asomu a na ɛno ano no ɛkɔtie deɛ obi wɔka anaasɛ deɛ obi ka ɛnyɛ no na hia
ɛsane sɛ wɔn a wɔn mpɛ sɛ wɔbɛte ase no wɔn kɔ ama no ne wɔn sɛ o mekɔyɛ adwuma kakra wɔ ha mewie me san kɔyɛ kakra wɔ ha nti wɔn po wɔn na wɔ hɔ na ade nti na Ghana de yɛpɛ sɛ yɛde saa ade wɔ bi ba na ɔpanyin bi a wɔanya sɛ nisuade wɔpɛ sɛ ɔde ba wosɛ no de wonya nni so enti gya wɔn pɛ sɛ wɔbɛfa wo Ghana ni wo na wo hia wo bebu no na ɔbɛnya adwuma yɛ wo ɛna ɛbɛboa wo
ɛna Peter Bensa ɛka asɛm bi wɔ Gumbe show maame sɛ nsi dua wɔse MPP for na kɔyɛ hwehwɛmu ɔmo ato ɔmo aborɔfo na gum wɔnya bibifo aborɔfo broni kɔkɔɔ
fitaa
ne ho fitaa wato ɔmo agum ama ɔmo akɔyɛ hwehwɛyɛ ehwehwɛmu ɛde afa 24-hour economy no ho ɛna ɔmo akɔnya amanebɔ akyerɛ sɛ saa 24-hour economy na JM ɛne NDC for abɔ so a ɔmo atɔn de ama Ghana for no ɛyɛ nhyehyɛ pa Ghana for so mu sɛ twɛ
oyiwa
eti strategy ne sɛ yɛn nsɛm yɛn kama amanfo hunu sɛ ɔmo kora ɔmo nte aseɛ eti yɛka ne sɛ bi a Ghana for adwene bɛfiri so but you see wo a wotie yɛn hwɛ yɛn wo a wabɛnya ehunumu ɛne nte aseɛ sɛ ɔman Ghana wɔ ahokyerɛ mu wankasa wo ahokyerɛ mu wo pɛ ntɛm afiri saa ahokyerɛ yi mu no wo na woyɛ target of this message
good
Bahumia nyɛ target of this message. So I na adwin sɛ nimdeɛ bebrebe no wɔn te ase a ɛto gye ɔno a sɛ kodwa ɔpɔn kuruma yɛ no wɔn asɛ nimdeɛ bebrebe nyina wɔn te ase a ɛto gye ɔno a ba wo Ghana ni na wo hwɛ etie yɛ a wote wo Ghana efie nso ne wɔtwini nkofo yi ɔmo se NDC fo nte ɔmo asɛm na se no ɔmo nya akonya sɛ kɔmbetima yɛ bibi ama wabrabo improve a ɔmo ntimi nya yɛ no why do you have to listen to them? So President Mahama says to Sudia, was I grab on us here? A year talk be a fede. A shall some no kinemuka say 24-hour economy no. A truly game changer no. What shall some no kinaka say? Already on the target here, Numa. Good. The target a coin of my Ghana befaso. Now ya produce no ma bebre. Yeah. At the man for maso. The target a coin. Ghana betima faso na noma bebrebe ya krabimpo adi free Burkina Togo Cote d'Ivoire etubetwa enoma bebrebe ya krafri amanfo maso eba ye manmu no ba umi anim se eno ena ama ye sidi na ho de ate abafom a woni na ma wo kire se eje ye to abama no anza no wa masidi na nya awode ba umi anim sa de we
abra wo tu mi sabre
akra go vida go are you telling me say ba umi anim say enoma bebrebe a ye gusu a ye kra me wa ye say you planting for food and jobs ye kra ba yire kra nya adoa kra no ma bi a ye timi dua e wo mamu ha wonim say kan bi na ye sidi na awode no ate abafom
enwa
eti kasa o mo say ye wo assembly plants wo o my Ghana no seka edi bibi papa bi ba ya adenti ne yesi di na ho den wo fam
oyiwa
no mo mu se omo
asembisa no ni
7 to 8 years ni omo be yes adwuma no emfaso be pa na Ghana fo anya afiri ho Ghana ni a wutie me hwe me kasa omo se so omo hyehyɛ e wo man Ghana no wo sika na da oboto no betimi di atobi
bisa
Ghana for dodo se na timi to sa kasa ni bi
bisa
so what are you talking about?
Yentimento
fi obi ne fi di dwuma bi te se eye osafo kantanka yi say na ne tebia sitie
bisa
ne kasa wo produce adenti na bo no wosoro
asembisa no nen
adentira. So these are the questions that was a mubisa ba umia wa bra woni na mo so a wo body tirin ko sano answer ye de tonton sansan beto no me sam ko back na ma me abrante na wo ye the difference between Napo and Professor Nana Jane Opoko Ajima. What can say here be? Okay. You better be the din komo tia wabi. Yentie no.
Akufo ado ne no ma wo yenti no. Party ni begu itomo pre. And I thank God say in all these years, Noma Bonnie has been seen. I could find on any dome a plan for Ghana who through the Japadie. I mean, drafted deal now. Omoye, and I say, Omana Koso, I'm waiting for repaying the fee. Now, it looks as if Encrofowi, me who they say, listen, Nyan San Shedani Omutri, Omon Shedan Yankophobia, Sebi, Omodjane to Sebi, Nipa Jane, and answer more remorse, and answer more Yankophobia, they feel pain. Omodsi Jimmy Kwaso, my man, so the Conanoa. Yedanyamiasi, a jebo, a nyabedru, a deba sana me patcher. Napu. Baomia comedian. Hello. Collaborating and also joining forces with Mr. Henry Neta. Nyansa Bakukweni, dentist, where Jimmy Sakradi and who be that. Aha. Yes, say all these years, all these who are not yet share time I could for a car point and I said,
Nasa Rokan, I know I say. And any descriptions no use you know. I know I say you're radio friendly.
I'm definitely a phone fighter back on
Franche. Yeah, but the year dine a D we mu. And then Nyanse 1 in 70 moon and say what the Dr. Mato Poku Prempe. Etoto Her Excellency made the Excellency Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opogwajima. Gap on your white. Gap on your white because Baku fat Debbie Debbie Baku wa Brazil to the sense one kasa wodi wani hunu ye e won fifi mantem wa bra ma mi bi nya do asend meko gu fama na wo sesa e de gu konkomu di ama no na po betu ayesa ha me be ye ding say Matthew Poku Prempe betu mi ayesa de we obinfu jina no Poku Agima wa ho Brazil kwa me to the extent they say me say meko no gu fam no na po nkrofo ka chere say oh your excellency yanko o se Debbie ono jina ye ni duku ni kra duku ebo no ono yiye ono se yensisa umoku no edigu duku ni mu ena wode mama me no o wi ase no o se oh weyi ubetimi akokokuru mpo asanga to ba twen o se yi sika di ma no se je eje se won ji sika no efa nto abama no Debbie woje out of because kwame ade we no na ade no makunu ni bu yeden na say egu fam na ade no su kwambo won to eti agbaye niema chese egudifo wo no na se niema mo ayedin ama wo efam no so egu no edwa bia atachanko ana ho asha unim na sada no sunsu ato wo ho enya asabi nim so de amane bone ba kwame mi se na iti na chese no eti kwame ahun brasi kwanto na onim Professor Jena no Poku Agima kwame yakwa nyina no ninsem o kan no enya not even on a single occasion obeka say why you obi a Women National Development Bank no nchiremu no de ama mia and mama nchiremu say nienti a omutimi de sa enhyehyɛ ba ya enne de Ghana for ma hwehwɛ ehia ne sɛ wo motete bia Ghana for ma ekomase ya prof atiase sɛ mame dwadini na owo dwoma ne mekɔ no gu fom no sɛ wo ma ne sika anase wo de sika so nasene wo ma na kwanya wo sika kora bia kwa so na wonya sika ede so nasene ma ne de hye adwuma bi ase a mame ne betu mpɔn ya amena nya sika de abetua back mo san hyehyɛ kuro ya Women's Development Bank wo so mbepa binfo bi amoma beka ye maame no mo ne ye yire no mo ho good no mabo mo wo kwan a ye keep book me bo a sa pepepe said ye se ye nkuntabuo sa pepepe e kwan a ye betima fa so aye ye business you wo mo de santete ni nyina ba mo wo de ba ma wo etinye se sika bi na down ye tia ma obi keke so nkodi en kwame ade we wo be ye nso nye se bia wo be ne ti se bia wo be free baby ti se denchira wo be free baby ti se kropon wo be free baby ti se kejeta no wa bankrango there be important ma wo no what did these experts see and if panifu e be ba honom na wo mo di sanchire ni sika nyina amam na wo de asomo ase na timi abu am kwame sanchire mu no de my not even on a single occasion Professor Nana Poku Agima mpo apen attention to new opponent mpo so obeka say eye Matthew Poku Prempe ti say e be ye ding say Matthew Poku Prempe betumi ahia even young men a ye wo Ghana say insise ya wo mo ma ye ni e be ye de ntumi ka because sa ahombrase ni obu ni nidi kasa no
Napo Nibi, but Professor Jena Napo Kwajiman, being a woman, being a mother, being a professor, and a first female vice chancellor of a public university in Ghana, no, or Tigana Fat Ase, or Tigana Miase, or Tiyaudi Emu Ase, and Tiniam Shisheno, our Ghana Miahu, Niam Eshishono, our Ghana Fu, and Nunti, and Okikas Asemidicha Ghana Fu.
I cry a bay and Yamin Yumari, Yafantoha. You don't do Zanzan, your boy, and Ghana, Monsamna say. Yeah, I drink say, you better my Joma Hama. You now won't swear. Mo pa she
a man, Maya. A yo and yo, any woman. Ya paso biaba a Gabana city. Na assembly will be a muaka, never money ye. Consum, young Femumai, Motrobo, young Femumai, Mosampa.
Spanish garlic mixture. Now what feel what you drink about baby one danciana. A ready as I gana have baby. Media cram and maybe I make up for fratoni.
Me want a capsules me a drive a needy and it's not the morning na yejuma. Me do fear me think I say me move me sa enemy na united.
Last one I'm about and you're drawing almost from the Spanish mixture. Oh my, a Spanish garlic mixture. And one ameno. I do my tanka. So me the air.
Cedric, Mammy, I mean, do what dance train. Someone drop a cubin sooner. And what Dacamo green? And no, who can we are Spanish Ginkgo capsules is good for retentive memory. And now, anti aging. Hey, me, mammy, now all can be a channel on Kai. Ni free your man tentem. Ni skin in the body in your answer say, me to be man. And to me, can Yamakra, Namikra, Bumi Pusa. And check her bar center for a day. And then the pharmacist can make her bar shop. I pay for a batch of more money for Quada with me feeding you and come. FDA, actually, a gradient criteria.
Team program moye yanko cruise. In fact, me interested.
Just say from 21st of November, 1 week package.
As some of better yellow, I am it. Now I'm ready to don them. You have a flight every Ghana, I South Africa. You do South Africa and so on. You have a ship to Mozambique, back to South Africa. You did ship 4 days. What did you? One now and San Benum. Entertainment be a you get it there.
Now, this is a crampo dear, you say to your $500. Now block your cabin. Now from now up to November, no with you and Kakra.
Maybe this when you young coin. I would cheer $2,550. Hey, me could cheer back.
Life is better at sea. Experience it.
fete, amaya mami wa fete. Enko yenana, afeidi enko yenana. Kakra mi pasha mi ma, enusu enko yenana. Yeah, jenu ngope kuwa mambi afen wa yeseke. Mami wa fete, amaya mami wa fete. Gana sits na yediama, keke tensi di kansumi oyamiyo, oyamiyo. Pinya visari ameko, Gana sits na yediama, keke tensi di kansumi oyamiyo, oyamiyo. Pinya visari ameko na mejamu.
Tia.
Pinya visari ameko.
Kenya visa ebede.
Pinya visari ameko.
Echo.
Sits na yediama, keke tensi di kansumi.
Ghana mebunu ni suo. Abusia Dwabo Ase di Power 97.9 and a TV SYZ. Oh yes. The youth is on fire. Ghana mebunu boja. Kacho mo. Kani nyina cho mo. Maria Dam yada sisa wudi achi anopai. Oso John Mama. Yesira wo. So mo be pa chaw kra ye nyintum. Yempo ma chaw pa bia. Omo be pa ya chaw kra ye mfie omo. Omo kofie. Omo free asokra. Sharon Stones kwame koswa woni akra covid akọ. Koswa na mumboja. And I feel some Kroma Lumumba message on the by. Also from 2025, when the NDC take power, MPP party will collapse. Maria Damasan was it Kwame the gold refinery is their Japadia remix. Oh, Kwame, please follow this scandal, Maya. Why? This scandal, Nechi Maya. George Henderson did a message about also good morning, Kwame. The MPP knows that the 24-hour economy, they know it, they understand it. But Master Dabubu Nyego Masum and a propaganda and tea. Omopaso Dada Ghana for say NDC Fonte 24-hour economy nothing. Ezambi ebusia ebraso yede efoni kase abramo mini akra covid akọ asatena se ba no pay ka se okọ 21st clinic anope ya otu asintini didi mu kọ wonase ho no oya na wote na ye fra no sciatica no obete ne te ohaw no ebe free so one time etiana to anamona kọ omonkra bata na bududu nwatwe ewo my Ghana na se Ghana ba bia be kọ bia 21st clinic ho okọ obesaw yade from 0540 311 0540 311 21first clinic sciatica expert akra coffee da kunim say Little George Health Shop no yeah. Nanu awanga sa ko hode na hunu e kwabenya mi ko hode enru bese food supplement adro bia wo pa bia adro bia wakwa adokotafo aka che o say wo hia be boamo ba tebia papa mu bia no oko Little George Health Shop on sabeka bia to you say ye kowa mixer say dro no say wa woni papa ma dwen da wo ye wa nche bia na wura fiade obeya wadi du mienu ya na say ni suku komo na disuan aye say de hunu ni ye you pe kowa mixer man what lovely na holla heba mixer no holla heba mixer no holla heba mixer no on sabeka bia to Little George Health Shop and if it's a 3P garlic mixture. Say do not tatarina yadia biasro no. O call Little George Health Shop no pay ya. And the winning on Sabeka biato. Dominion herbal powder. And member drop Mr. Kill. Member drop Mr. Kill. Now Little George Health Shop no more.
Pretty much all time community 5.
Okay.
PV been run about.
Okay.
Any presby asafo no.
Okay.
150 per no butu.
One over from 0243 140213 0243 140213 Little George yeba moba anope wo dale star 274 hasha akra wudi obenya 500 Ghana cedis right amafo bebere pesika kitwe bi e de adwoso mo de aye adehia bi ba won hunu ba bi a won ko look obi abobosia mabosia eka eka ne ho ahia baby obefabia we are multi-dimensionally indebted anya po we are multi-dimensionally indebted wofa wodeka wofa nifa wodeka wofa tifia wodeka okwa apueya wodeka na just say enkoye mama enkoye nana enkoye baumia e de no ma setre mu ayeden
kra dodo
America mini Ghana fo yi
amini ye kwa
eti ye eso as a broadcast ye say wa bra ye radio Zuri TV so yi ye nim te bia nkwa de ye mu ye ni ngu so ye nkata ni nkase ye nim ye nim te bia no eti be say on the TV so o sika na egu TV no so no ye yi mu 500 e de amount ye yi mu say 500 cedis e de amount as simple dial *274 hash *274 hash *274 try the capacity mo utwa obedi utwa onsabeka sa pepepe it be say ye sisi e ma me why na e ka no te so na nya kakra kotogo baby na mo nunum su ogu so ne ye hwede e beko sa agre kwam ene ye ukuda yes enye ize kra na kwam ifonyikasi bre no me di overseer newspaper na be fiase that's right overseer wa ha no the George Opariado Pablo Nifoni aba. O say Ghanaian youth will ensure Mohammed's victory on December 7th. Wakan waha. And the permanent monim so mamperinga be di ba me ko hono na nsey. So ko ya campaign ho. Yeah. O mu say book em. E permanent koye. Eno na Justin Kodua e de beto ni Facebook say wa wo mensiri ne mpeso aso no na se form wonya yi na mo mobilize nkofo no. He na mama makwadwere no ambese ye nyuma. Justin Kodua di bibisa to social media. More on the Tuni Facebook page. I don't know, yes. More and no, yes, sir. Wow. It's about me a call payment. Never work him, never koye. Just NPP supporters or crowd from Crown to Mumba. Not just a man for ma. And I hear about my economy who be Baumiachi. A prayer mantem. It's still regional Assembly American. Oman Casette, a padia prayer mantem. Pierre, a Kufado and Casa free. Only a Santibedi to any Gabia Sario Chedagubia movement or move Rimono. I'm for so mama. I know then obeti policy bank. Mobile phone ubetia busumina bay. And then so many could be because a prayer mantem a year and this Amano Kuno, Omokasama for penny, a communication officer, press conference be no our minim say. Asem we ka ho dia e ka ho enti ka ho ti general secretary na say regional secretary my NDC e wo Eastern region owura jama kone e na wodi nkrata ba chem say ba me aba ha nu ti na wentimi ni nanu wentimi ni 2 days kwa Eastern region e no gwan fi ho no wo yo enko ye kwa me ne mabu akem eti e wo overseer munya bia obetumi akenkan yera jondroma ni mahama ni sama kan say mebu amu wo man mu bet amu ye ne kakra kufu ado di tax abetoso oba obetwemu no e wo overseer munya bia obetumi akenkan na kwam asem bi wo overseer kratafa to so bie sa page 3 honom tie we have laid the foundation for job creation Baumia after 7.5 years in government. What to happen? Nanya Baumia Krona woman by in 2017 Busumi be such also one creating over 100,000 jobs. Okay. Kwame and which 2 years later one create over 2 million jobs. Yanko mwanga sanse momode eba bemu. Jombo du jina simpie so eka so mo ba enyuma be busoma amanonefo abepre enyuma ho wo man Ghana 80 after 7 to 8 years afi na Baumi a wo petumi no e dey free a wo ka kire se afi no mato fapem ben eno ebisa enti asem bisa no ni onim da ko ka asem ni Ghana NDC fulanche mebu manifesto no eno ko gina gomwa Pentecost bia ho no ma mebu no say after 7 years in government afi na ye lay foundation for job creation nipa baako eno beka yi ochena wakai busumu kete se ne ye niam no apata so you see nie ntia wo ya apata na wada ne ho busumu akotre eye because what twatro sabre enye because data no enimu ano Ghana for mebu 1.9 million etifie kwa wo mu ni hweye Ghana for over 8 million nanu ya omo da akom ede edebu nyina wani di wada akom na wababem wabetena data na wo mo se eno ne yemfa nya adwuma no data na aban asoeye ejina ensembisa so anya no edim wa wo mo so they can no longer afford to lie to the people of Ghana. Etudio yan say obe say as wo ka bi e de ama no eti wo say adwuma na mo pe no ya to fapem fapem no wai endi ho da ben ye besi dan na wie me dase ma me twa so komanim Ghanaian Times na medu so sabre o say food shortage looms as lack of rains affect crop production leaves farmers distraught. Come, what's here? A common besan abawu. Na say come ni ewo mu dada. it is a full from Beckham na ekɔ ne say or patches e dey na betimi e dey sade na
kwa me o se nsu ntɔ e wo bia ye fu ahoro
mia ye mfu ahoro
nsu ntɔ
a nsu ye pitipiti na nsen
kwa me wo se ntɔ ye o intento ye nta how anhwe kwam na onim se mprebro kɔtɔ bayre ba ko e be se 40-50 Ghana cedis bayre ba ko bayre foforo na abono enti se namre na se bayre foforo abana ne boy se na wo bokoko sabre a sa kokko ya Ghana times every boy na che se kwam next year de ye be wu
enti ye warehouses na almost ye se ho na ye di sie nuane no ewe
onka no kware
silos ahodo a ye se e ho na ye di nuane esie no ewe
wo mu nka no kware eyan tronkuto then kisita na medusu sabre asemba ko pa na mefefrim o chem se NDC youth manifesto a wapa ho ntama no niema mako du enum bi wo mu a ena no pe wade abantu nya bi obetumi akenkan wo mu a owura sami gemfi o communication officer watwe na no pe the inquisitor newspaper no wa publish ni nyina ode aba etunya bia obetumi akenkan kwa mami ko the Herald o chem se Tobinko and FDA officials cook dubious 94 million Ghana cedis judgment debts ewom ewa hanum kwam eye rade nyankopon
Ghana bro
ayo Ashanti regional NPP executives gravely divided first vice chairman orders boycott campaign inauguration kwam talking about Ashanti region unum so ko premu wo eye bia Mahmood Kabori eye communication officer yi
eye secretary
Franklin unum so NPP amanyoku no mpanyifu bed no constituency executives won actually won otwera bankukum
adai
won akọ electricity pole you
constituency
executives
onya be nkwa
na
ana ye omusu
kwam krong no every presidency corrupt we akoso corruption we akoso no man pani abekle
asani abafomo
eti abedu constituency level kwam na nsenso biaya eye papa we atimokwa oyem na sebegweni vondi oyem na sebegweni ewo hoyinu ehonum MPP parliamentary candidate owo ho na nsen ya so omuso ono so wo kire no ono so fraud kroye bi na onim wo kire ni wie no na wode no ekogina kamu edini number time say osi yakase ebeja no wonga jaw no ntomfa ne hunkodi and the police commander wo ho bo won kokko
ye kire no
ye wo kire no police commander wo mumfa no mfi street ni so nya sa mesanga kire ni biom
wow
ewo atimokwa abato mpesua so ewo mfifi mantem kwam so the corruption no kron no asanga for the presidency babedru constituency level two top executives of the New Patriotic Party ewo secretary from place about on pesua so one country wa adentia electricity po wan akobia
and ade ba konso the SCA post for aso omumui e was say two obi afo e ka asem bi kire obi ase enya post for nyina na obetima to omo
debi
ye were professional police for you professional soldier for about professionalism na wo mo de beto o madwuma na ye adwuma no said yes it
sa pepepe
bibia stop wo
mo kwa momentu asun called the Accra Times so o chem say Mahama schools Baumia and NPP on the 24-hour economy policy urges Ghanaian youth to dream big and aim high.
When you dream big.
Sa pepepe netini usunda
as big as the ocean.
Me da say enti JM akyerɛkyerɛ wom ɛna no JM kopem book unboxing o say don't call me his excellency
call me JM me amini me president I'm not president now
me JM me ti say o
so
but you say wetin now that bet tax na and they talk you say I know say they use you people they suffer for the street
yawa of the day
Allah. So me if I come that thing I go come out from there so that you people if you do your papa movement so home it jam chiriche mu nyina de kire won enu bia na nam so ti aka time
what kasa no what dine dey say one be yen hwehwe ya ebe masa de we ebe obebo na trase what the 24-hour economy no beba said ebe ya adwuma no bebu so na betting ya be ya last resort e de ama mabunu no kakra na ye frame because babunu e resort to betting na e chese bibia eni mu ano eno ne nia owo nia owo nko an so a wo gina so de anya kakra to botom no to aban so se wo gene de
so
won so abete no enya wo na abete me ana me bete
kwam asemba ko pe me free Accra Times mu na me fa ni nyina nsi na no pe o kyeremu se majority leader apanyo makin ekika nsɛm bi ɛde ti acha mehene wɔ Ghana mrase begwe na no no waba ɔkyem sɛ saa nsɛm na ɔka no nya no kware Madam Joyce Bawa Moktare ɛkyem sɛ sɛ bi akɔhwesɛm na efe nsɛm a wɔn aka nya no kware ato nsɛm a wɔn aka ti ayɛ Radwondramani Muhammad ne nyinaa no ɛnam so ma OSP saa bere wakyerɛ sɛ ne hu so James Agaga nso kyerɛ sɛ interior minister gyina bi a uri si sɛ wobɛfa mabun a wɔn yɛ MPP funkuto no wɔn akɔ wura ɛyɛ yɛn security services mu no ɔsɛ nya department bɔ mɔden na hwɛ sɛ wobɛtumi agyae kwam
yes
ɛnɛ yɛ okuda etitew ma mefa ne nyina sia na ansa na mɛkɔ no owura baako yɛfrɛ no Umar Ibrahim ɔyɛ ɔka mpanyinfo a wɔn twi ɛyɛ ɔbɛnfo gyina na ɔpɔkɔ gyima ne hyɛn no Umar ɛna no pɛyi memu akyerɛ sɛ mika kyerɛ sɛ ɔkyia na fɛ Chief Simon ɔsɛ mika kyerɛ sɛ ɔkyia na yɛ afrɛ no Tiger wom ɛyi Budumburam police dɔm sahene ne din ɛde Chief Musa Lovely morning.
Medase, lovely. Medase. Akra Kofi da ko na tene nka no pay. Wo Dwabo Ase opa 97.9. E check asian koma Hajia Miriam Salesinari. Wala nche bia ye baba si uhima. O baba ye magajia Mosowa. E wo Greater Accra. E check asian pa free nyina ho team Dwabo Ase e ko e dia ma. Haja baby akobia onkwaso. Abuja said the kind no what dial star 274 hash no pay on Sabeka 500 Ghana cedis. Wabra Yakuswa ye Messica, wa Minsaka promo yiswa. But a person make out say Franco Trading Enterprise. Winti Ghana enti said your mind Ghana a real Monsaka Bobrani City enti Yashaswa ya at the Franco a year air conditioner ba. It took air conditioner. Ube yisu Ghana hey year a bedia boawa. Our Franco Trading Enterprise. Go around the pebitro. And I feel so self phone papa to say Nokia, Samsung, iPhone, India, Kikawa, Ubora Franco Trading Enterprise. On Sabakabiato. Obambonti at the CCTV cameras. Abakambia, Bibia Koso Kama. Our Franco Trading Enterprise. And a penny the Munina and Winya Daja Fromo. Our 0555 939311 0555 939311 and official 02464223338 Franco Trading Enterprise. What that's why your phone papa perfie. Mom show me TV XYZ ye dying one by na ukuada men ko baby a ye ba ye twan komo no so kai so man no etena se no man etena se a baby a ye de ani a kire ye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni NDC amanyoko omani so de hunu e de ma ya desua e ho nsem ye ma no adesua e free basic ekosi suapon omani so de hunu e de Dr. Clement Park a member of parliament ma de share wo Busa South obeba fia na ye din komo no ye ba.
years, 4 years, 5 years, they are still staying in their father and mother's houses, and it is their father and mother providing food for them to eat. We want our young people to finish school and be able to find jobs so that they can earn money for themselves, they can get married, they can also have children and take their children to school. The English people say, don't give me fish, teach me how to catch my own fish, so that anytime I want fish, I can go and catch it myself. And I'm telling somebody that the young people of Ghana are saying, don't give us mobile phones. Give us jobs and we'll buy our own mobile phones. If you get a job, can't you buy your own mobile phone? Increasing poverty, social unrest, and disenchantment with the whole democratic process. The scarcity of job opportunities compels many young individuals to resort to low-paying informal work or seeking opportunities abroad, thereby exacerbating the brain drain that hampers our national development. And if you go to Nigeria, they call it jakpain. To jakpa means to run away from your country and go abroad. This reality perpetuates inequalities and undermines social stability, as the potential of our youth remains untapped. To tackle these issues, I have proposed a sustainable vision to reset Ghana by introducing we need a reset by introducing and aggressively implementing the 24-hour economy policy. If you are hearing about the 24-hour economy initiative for the first time, or you are pretending that you do not know what it is about, please cock your ears now and listen to me explain it again. This is a policy that is not peculiar only to Ghana. A 24-hour economy will enable one job to be shared across 3 shifts and employ 3 persons, providing job opportunities for 3 workers instead of 1. And that is what my intelligent, eloquent, younger sister, or should I say my daughter, explained as 1-3-3. This policy aims to drive economic growth, improve service delivery, and create jobs in both the public and private sectors, and will prioritize the needs of our young people. And for the policy to thrive, the government will have to invest in security and public safety measures, including recruiting additional personnel, enhancing street lighting to promote nighttime economic activity. Essential components of the public sector's 24-hour service, that is for the public sector, would include a 24-hour port and harbour, 24-hour customs service, 24-hour banking service, 24-hour vehicle licensing service. We shall also decentralize the procurement of food and other supplies to the headmasters and school bases in order to improve the quality of food and also boost the local economies in the districts where the schools are located. We shall expand access by building more infrastructure in existing secondary schools, and we shall dedicate funding to completing the E-blocks in order that more children can have the opportunity to go to school. We will abolish the double track system. so that all our children can go to school at the same time and vacate at the same time. Our kids will not come and stay at home for 4 months and go to school having forgotten everything they learned in the previous term. Moreover, tertiary students face financial barriers, with over 40% struggling to afford education and accommodation. And as I recently announced during a visit to the University of Ghana, my government will partner with the private sector to demarcate a portion of the vast tracts of land that the universities are holding to construct hostels for students on campus at reasonable rates. And thereby address the accommodation challenges that students are facing. The professional institutions of architects and engineers will be engaged to provide uniform designs for these hostels and a costing of the hostels that will be built on all campuses, and that will be under our program of a bed for all students to be able to stay on campus. We'll also launch the No Fee Stress initiative, providing fee-paying support to eligible students, especially through the Student Loan Trust Fund. The reintroduction of a quota system has reduced admissions across both nursing and teacher training sectors, restricting entry for many youth who desire to train as teachers and nurses. We deplore the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration's practice of opening the recruitment portal only when elections are coming. We will implement a policy of continuous recruitment of teachers and nurses, especially for the underserved areas. The next NDC government pledges to abolish the teacher licensure exam. We will make teacher licensing a part of the final year program in colleges of education. The John and Jane administration will implement strategies to address teacher accommodation challenges, especially in rural areas.
All of us are waiting for 7th December. We know the problems with trainee nurses. And that is why when we're in government, we said we're going to substitute your allowance with the student's loan. That's what we said. And that is because we wanted to create more employment for you. What is important for you is not the allowance, it is to get a job when you finish school. But somebody came and said he will pay the allowances. Unfortunately, it was 419. When he went to Techiman, he took a young, small trainee nurse like you to say that you promised us you pay our allowances. I entered nursing training 3 years ago. I'm in my final year. For the 3 years I've been in school, I have not received even allowance once. And you know what? They pretended like they didn't know. Oh, allowances, I'm not sure. I have to ask the Minister of Finance. I am saying that come and pay the nurses. You owe them almost 30 months of arrears. Some of them have left school without receiving their allowances. And some of them are going to leave school again without receiving their allowances. But one thing I can assure you, it is about jobs. And NDC is committed to jobs. And so we are going to create the situation where we can employ as many of you as possible. What the MPP does is, they don't employ for 4 years. Then when it's getting to elections, they quickly say, oh, we've opened the portal for employment. And so they say they've got financial clearance to employ 15,000 nurses. Why have you waited till 3 months to elections before you say you're going to employ 15,000 nurses? And which ones are you going to employ? Are you going to start from 4 years ago or 5 years ago? Which batches are you going to employ? And that is why you must create a condition so that when you are coming out of training, we are sending you into employment at once. Ezu, I make you a commitment. When I come, the hospitals we are building that have been abandoned by this government, we will continue them. When I come, the Agenda 111 hospitals they are building, I'll continue and finish them. So that we can create more space to be able to absorb all of you when you finish school. This election is between Ghana and MPP.
It sounds say big mining companies nafa concessions me no. Nya can say baby so wo ho a eda ho a yenim se gold wo ho. Enti se ba ye be ma geological survey aye a ho exploration ni map ho out. Na emabunu ne enkrofo mpese omoye sa mine no. Ye be kan mabum in cooperatives. Enti ombe register as a cooperative. Na ye de emabunu na omoye University of Mining and Technology ewo Takwa UMAT a omun wo ehunimdie ye de omo beba be kan cooperative no ho no ma kire omo sane omo be ye mining no abra obi empra abia obi enhre ne kwa omo ye mining no su ya omo be kire omo sane na omo be kata your friend land reclamation omo be kata asase no omo be san piepia akatakata amra no no mo san duadua endua a ewo honfaso enti saa nyoma ni na ya dia ye betimi aye eno na eye the concept of cooperative mining na enye upper east region hankwa bebia ye mining bia ye the saa concept no bema se ne be ya ye mabunu no so ebetimi enya adwuma ye big mining companies ne say omutimi je wokọ bebia ekọ ye ya company ba ko 60 km square I just say enye 60 km square ni nyina and obe mining. Baby or what or share gold no and no so dodo enti a honya dia a chese a yadia and then ya obekwa ye mining wo ho enti nye can say yen share asase big mining companies na je baby a chese gold no en shedan no so a omani en na so say ombekwa ye bibi wo ho yentimi ntwa ho kakra na ye mabunu no ye de omo ye cooperative na etwitwa ama omo how many acres no omo so omo akotutu kakra ne ombenya no na omo de ahwe omo ho.
Be your mind I don't know about Dr. Clement Park in car. Wabra bon group but to say me catch on you call a prayer mantem na yene NDC amanyo kono abomna of course almost a dream for Shamuna or Monebre Ghana for Yinano yet Yabun some Kojo Dankwa and then a dom one Zambia almost person to Ghana and him. It should be about connecting a faith. You call a prayer mantem near Cotier. You take a grand faith. His Excellency John Mahama ni NDC omani swadi hunu adema Ghana form kwada a free and enfitiase suku ekosi suku pon anase sua pon no yene Dr. Clement Park bedi unkomo baname ka say health alert clinic sa yare sabia no ko wa yafurumukuro yade a ye frɛ no ulcer no obedi hu dwuma kama ya dwuma tumu ni omu tumi ye Ghana say woman na yajo matum seba ulcer treatment oma bi mu ye pa woni so ebriu edura na dwa wuntimi na wonam mu ehihye wo ohunam mu ehihye wo fichiko mu how fere nyina bedan ye wo health alert clinic obetu ahwe echi akwan Fisa Yankrabata no say Yatu apete Ghana for nyina. Oko Medina bi wo ho Kaswa Dwabo Ase Ashaman and Atakrade. Free Krada Kosi Meminda. Health alert tenacity free and upon on so Kosi Anumre Beremu no num. Over to our Health Alert Clinic. I was 0242 518893 and 0242 518865. Health Alert. Yakwana Heba. Come on. Mr. Peter, your video already by me, Minister Wabodada, but yeah, your radio so your passiate. His Excellency John Mahama, better now war a year's Yapono Bako, our from Montem, better now walk Kasafa level 100 for no. A kwanya na buying a bar or beswa a canon. Sukufisa, Abaya deswama wofono. Titi Kurane Kosia Pong for Frona. A canon be just one. Peter's a video near ready and abo. Banapay Solak Natural Clinic. Solak Natural Clinic. Kobuncha wate. Omadokota for the P naba. It's a gradia kuku down for my brain kidney at the animal liver problems. The obetima boa na a bar wash one saka will fear one saka will bush anymore. O got Solar Natural Clinic. I would any a tomb say a doctor for the baby. Beman what the abba from say ye be peja one anymore. Amiati aquadesu will fear. Etienne to anamono kidney yadia the hauba. Liver problems, see, and now so until a month for baby, go home. Ubetwesi Sadi and Hawkeye. Solak Natural Clinic, or the quality D, it did be a done, quality first. From 055393 2631 055393 2631. Solak Natural Clinic, quality first. What Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center and Efrey, Abuja Woodie Tiabio, Fisa, Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center, Magina, Saint Lon Cinnamon, so adding Medimoses Garlic capsules about. When you dread Baba ya Bamba Wapum, Essie Yadia Hokwai. When you dread Baba Buama, and Wading, Eura Wapum, Number Janedia Frusani ye. What did you make? It's an Uber pharmacy, and Nasa Herbal Shop Bia, a Drea Mabosway, your friend. A young Medimoses Garlic capsules on Sabakabiato. On no so numini ye. Never want to mara. Now Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center there. If you had your Saba Kunie and a Ghana for the Huma Jumayo, Ghana for Saba Juma Tum. Oh yeah, prostate once up. Or Junso how. Fring in Abadaya was Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center. Typhoid fever, malaria yadia, sciatica yadia. Ebubu yadia na stroke empemunsa yadia and afeso bema ni oba mohweba munyaba mo chire eso ba no monte ebinka wo fie ho bra Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center wo se wonsam wo se ne yawo ya kaka na yawo asa proye bia bedidi esenim enkanka bia base na se fani nyina bedan yai wo Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center. We no pay ye because we can't no pay no man now see afem. Is you the ice water go no man now say we say do ye now we see afem. For bedai or Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center. Yerim dia be ya o. You match akwa wa dental barrier. Omuni post station no na dia ni mu hwe. ASL dan kese nim Ghana Highway Authority. Omo ya de ni mu Accra Ministry say ya no mo. And a je kodo ye ni school for the deaf no. And a dia ni mu hwe. Kumasi de aya hinema kokoben ewa na ewo aya Medimoses Clinic and Herbal Center. Joma Jakwan bomo number ni 0244 068447 0244 068447. That's right. Mami come messages in the banner swap. We say good morning Kwame. Please tell them that we know where they stay and where their properties are. So we are waiting for them to bring the so-called fight now. Omo person on the battle. Ye Ghana for ye niabre. Ye pensakra wa abanimu. Joseph Komla Gomado and the message way ebaye. Mami nyina na sem we so na me kwa omano so fisanra na ye concerned drivers for at the ensembi ebetu dwa ema wi abranimu ye ne omudi nkomo but ye fa ya bema embra san komonim fi se gina ye o masi ni se Dr. Mahmoud Baumia asema wo kan se Ghana fo se ne musuo na mobobom ho dia moye mfomso na moto abama no na wo ba ban mu a eye license ya na 2 years anase afiafe no ye koye no foforo ye nsakramu eye renewals no obetwim e de akọ 8 to 10 years na sasebwe ya ban man ne dom omwo adroba foku e friend concerned drivers wo say hrodo hradasem Ghana ni bia wo betena se ama asem adidi utirim ni wagina so e de akoto aba no wo de oseye kese pa e na bebre Ghana fo na no adroba fo no bi ni ye nuanom kasa wo prem to bre kase bom no omo dan na di se enyo mahi asem no ya ba ma wa homa no so ye ne to asa nkomo no so yaw ye mo ache mo akwaba
ya
hello yaw
pa cho me jo so
ma wotimi nka ye mo ache mo akwaba
kwame ma ben chawa enyi wa tiefo na
okay ya da se pass wa opinion say woni ye be kasa no pay na munsem ya matintim agu krata mu eno ye ne mu nuane bi kasa ye e mo kasa ba bia ba o mi ade nani akere no enye no na ya droba for ma pedie sa asem no ne nkyirase ye de kirem
yo kwame ma na sidi no kwa e wo mi na ne se adama for ye nka e wo ko we mu ba bia da se driving license renewal ene ye how e wo man ni tacho enkomo ye de to vice president ni abra ni emira mo GPRTU for to aba na na benti ama national chairman dina adawa fo nyina na mo de to na ni ni se ye ko ya road work ya e ka no se akodi anya fitemu ana se what kwan na o ka no je fi ho Oba ya no road work kwa kwa ene abenyo diswe ene nse bi aba se enkane no nanka ye ju number of days ya ka no esi wa na the road work we no enyina ria na ya to na mawo ene de omu ria omu se wo wa maka na si ho no wa ma me ye no nti ye du aso twe sika emu na ye ha o kase pa da ye so ye ni ya papa na ni kwa me o mi se abra Dr. Mahmoud Baumia je kase mu a wo yi anu no wo so nya we ye le mu se ye because when you kase transport minister or a cabinet minister and you so ya je to mu a ye do o man mu no head of economic management team wo da no na we kase sika se mu ni ama say uni mu a na mu ewem now boy no ba say ye man just 1 week on the year free o kwame assembly 5th of July 2024 but I made it you say
and year 14th August 2024
the 1 week the 1 week ni nyama you 1 week that what can you see and no na quality high and come on yes na me too na ni biem send the God for oil policy no one church him because and not God for oil no in no yeah take well 1 liter more than church or mama 1 gallon and you the brand and say ending of July no whatever GPRTU for 100 bars here electricity now other unions na can also no omonso adie beba mbacho mo say GPRTU say ni barompo omo de bi aba na kwa site na agasa nsem no je mu say ne say we petrol fin kan kwa akoma da we say number of petrol say na metro because ya right no say anything because any be charge car no and anu yi ama and what they sorry ya what they tell me be fire na kwa me ye how dey our for ne say where Dr. Mahmoud Baumia go create problem at all who ya we see en talk about na solve that problem no then dey ya kan say no I mean you don't people that dia that is almost as an iska I mean
say meet you
people that dia almost as driving as a iska
almost as driving license Ejisika.
Eji Adama for sika.
Okay.
Ọmọntanyiri Akufo peso. Na you see booklet and the Dorans ni na peso. Ano mo ka down booklet no. Ye di sika ni se ma post for. Ento mo kwa ni card. Ye mo bi kwa ka say and the post na do no mo pen pa mo no. But I don't know we need to make up them get to and the woman get
eti yawe so we tie me a na mo kam na kosi say ba o me anya da because was it nhihye ni eti mo ka che ne say wonye dey
I cafe papa min kan ko no wo ba ye no e na o ka che say card na kofo ye ya after ba wan ka do mama ba wan ka no think go home enti o ba be ye digital 180 Ghana cedis. Who say I'm not just one pound go boy for free? If you know what the connection man, all the lands is needed. And yet, I don't have one for say. Papa, no, some no work cano. No one young crack for because lands is an ancasano. Every 2 years, oh, qua. Yes, I get when you never say. Tell me, when you know a word, you never hear the young cocoa and Ghana for. Sika ta hono wanka apomdin se wa kire nso a kwa no de go kire wo ka petrol no wasem na go for oil policy no wo ma kire mu kire no nya ba bi o na wa to
eti adroba for nya dey
kwani ya ka kire adroba for say na no na mo to enya petrol so no ya to ka kan ba ni ka ko fara ga se post for nje ye na wo de fiase a ye tumi ko campaign kire o. Yes, say a driver for the say. Young Diana Tasso, how more we say a driver for in a down mono. No one is not was a medium, and conform Yana see motor court to my way. And conform Yana the post in TTA. And she never down sorry no. I think I want to cry more margin in our fire. And the so almost say, just say, a driver for question, but by way the Abuelo, the didn't be say again. You know, baby, now come in. You don't say your MP for say. So, special vote now. About Bofani idea to the woman down to be. No, they are tomorrow. No more rebel. Now, you know what you're for.
Now, say, what I want to challenge way. Not just say, and she say, I would what Baumia say, or ma a drabber for you know, and no more a drabber for my pediano in Shakra.
One can correct. Yeah, Mamma, I can go before the quadrille fuel mother. Well, I can vote for oil policy, you know. Now you talk 1 liter of fuel, 9 Ghana cedis, and now we go to the Korea, you know. Yeah, 15 Ghana cedis.
But by your way, a busy Dantino say, a yard dream for Frono. I will be unfair, be my.
Rabbit, it is possible no more, Chireno. Yeah, it is possible, say. MPP for coffee. Yeah, no.
And money track a BIBU.
Daddy. What did so say? Yeah, they get to a beer. You are one. You have any answer. Yeah, more. And the crime money for them. We patent no more fair or fra or money could another impregnating. No one cares that you kick a call. Nobody's going to go back to Obama. Why? No more in your dance here. And the time for forbidden namina, when you cry from our car and then the taxi now like your back where we say did one. And she may have quite a master. And so we are sad them and you have to about the prepare. Then I told my mama, you have kind, we are kind, we are. Not say, oh, 2 minutes, I won't fuck with Mana, near 1 year or money outside here.
Very well, Yabema, you're from and Kano, there be a vessel to us. Meadow was a pa, no brown Yamado pay. Ya bema na teni kano kasama foma eye consent drivers womo eku kase adroba for say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ne sama onama woton e di acha adroba for say nhye ya owode mom titiriu ne awo kase eye renewal of drivers licenses no obeye nhye ya ebe take 8 to 10 years no almost ye mosa ansem ntungu kura benyo because anyo mahi ade no Omani at say no more shani say between the 7 to 8 years no. Baumia meya kuntebuo and for gold for oil and for sudi free who buy it. Baumia meya kuntebuo ɛmfa ne yɛnti afa ho boɔ akɔ sorosoro sɛdeɛ ɛsi tie saa berɛ yi ɛso biribi saa ɛnkɔɔ so wɔn mu ne ne hyia a wɔn ka saa asɛm no wɔhyɛ wɔn bɔ sɛ July bosomi mu ɛna ɔde mmuayɛ bi bɛba bɛsi nnɛ wɔmfa mmuayɛ ne mmae ɛnsɛm a wɔn ne ne nkaeɛ ɛnsɛm a wɔn nka nkyerɛ ne sɛ ɛyɛ wɔn ahiadeɛ ɛna sɛ sɛ wɔnam a wɔse ɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a wɔba abɛyɛ ma adrɔbafoɔ abusuafoɔ wotie mi a wobɛtumi akyɛ w'adwen ɛwɔ saa asɛm ho yɛabɛma ɛna wote ne nka no mame His Excellency John Mahama ne nsɛm no bi a ogu so a wɔnam a wɔka wɔabrɛ a naprɔbɔ no ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ frama ntɛm ɛmu bia yɛntie.
A good friend and colleague, I was in parliament with him. He likes to speak his mind very openly, Kennedy Ejepong. He advised his party that, look, go back and apologize to the people of Ghana for the hardship into which you have plunged them. And that is the truth. They need to apologize to Ghanaians. And when he said it, this finance minister they brought just yesterday, he is not part of those who have put us where we are. They got him, okay, you go and apologize. It's not his apology we want. He just came. Those who must apologize are, number one, Nana Akufo-Addo. Jack Toronto. And his younger brother. Number two, the one who must apologize, is the head of the solid economic management team, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. And the third one who must apologize is their finance minister, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. It's those three people from whom Ghanaians are expecting an apology. Not the current finance minister, Amin Anta. So please.
Domestic debt exchange program was a very successful program, achieving 95% participation. And on this note, I would like to appeal to the people of Ghana to forgive us. To forgive us. It is never the intention of any government to impose hardships on its people. It was a necessary, very important decision at the time that if we avoided it, our economy will not recover such as it has recovered today. But also to thank you, the people of Ghana, to thank you on behalf of the President for the sacrifices, for the efforts that you all have made in participating in the domestic debt exchange program that saved our economy. And so I thank you very much for that support you gave to the government.
His Excellency John Mahama Odi Katenenka, Wabra no dan and say, Agwe anase obaye. And you know na na sudie so beba pa cho because parent for adwuma no kwa mo de man wo hunu ye. Wo ba gina simpie so, on se na wo san so efa nyasa kwa so asan di yatem. Wotie ne nsɛm no ne sɛdeɛ na wɔsi kasa akyɛ ne ɛyɛ ya ɔman Ghana ɛnɛ yɛda ka mu ɛtika mu ɛso ka a yɛntimi ntua yɛ kana. Don't you feel insulted as a Ghanaian, as a citizen? Yɛgyina wo din mu bɔbɔsia as a citizen da bia yɛgyina wo kɔn so ɛgye toɔ de afiri hɔ. Wonsrɛ kra ne yɛgye afiri hɔ. Yade aba bɛsere kɔ. World Health Organization declare say enye global threat bio Ghana guso eche hoto ene finance minister yedenaba abegyina wanim ebekire nie ntia e wo say yeti ase say COVID ne Russia Ukraine tokwa bi ene esan bi atu omu kwan mu yenya ntiase say no na enam so a amia bedru ba bi ayewe thinking say ye refi so mo ana tutu anamo ahodo a no mo bobo sia bebrebe a eba nwuma a omodi aya wo mo ntimi mfo mo nsantere bibi ba ku say so enche say no mo de ye The Union names of the day, Omobosiani be ene, a year a Riamushan high. President Akufo-Addo, high Riamushan, one renting luxurious private jet. Na Ghana for can 17. Omanya Swenty. And look, I want you to listen to Honorable Amina Ntabio. Netie said you're not was he justify why your economic mercy. Would you tell me?
Domestic debt exchange program was a very successful program, achieving 95% participation. And on this note, I would like to appeal to the people of Ghana to forgive us. To forgive us. It is never the intention of any government to impose hardships on its people. It was a necessary, very important decision at the time that if we avoided it, our economy will not recover such as it has recovered today. But also to thank you, the people of Ghana, to thank you on behalf of the president for the sacrifices, for the efforts that you all have made in participating in the domestic debt exchange program that saved our economy.
Sacrifices. Obi nanabi. Obi abrewabi. Obi akokurabi. Wadi ahumetieu. And you are thanking me for sacrificing my grandma. You are thanking me for sacrificing my grandpa. Obi di ahumete. Ahumete. Ebra ye mufa yi wine. Emo haircut. Now, if I buy investment, investment be anywhere where we are saying, I'll bet me a womb. I'm one of them Zakaye, and I'm on Pesa man for and Sabeka Musica, and I'm 20 Mruafui, a Kogu Ministry of Finance for days. No Musu, a Pomacho, some for Musica Momono, and I mean, Antabaka say, thank you for sacrificing. Hey, you see the way they are insulting us? And I know na meka ya na mumu bi monte mo wase ya and I'm beka cha say me kike mugumu so no. No. And when na wase mu hunu wa bra ye kwoto aba. Na wuru nia owo akomapa, nia owo adwenpa, nia owo nhyehyɛ e de mo man Ghana. It cannot be omo wa ban mu. It cannot be Akufo-Addo. It cannot be Bawumia. It cannot be omo wa ban mu because no, and so we have no other choice than to change. No one has said Bernard Oduotechi, chartered economist, member of the NDC, nan what if ya also Kwame. Say Ghana for Satuma about we ya. I was a ye checky bimo. And yes, we dear man for temo. But nobody in his right senses. And a Becca Joe Bia, why you be Etienne say. Kwaswa na tenase na yesa de kroniti ame se wotiwe no bi di dua bibi bo trim obe kwaswa tena ma oni akono di bibi abo trim anase obe dan na di a kire ne se ne awoye no wompe power. It is only a fool and a better ma what tena say ye fa bibi se endi no hwese no masi ase yesuku omuni hwese papa bia e de ma ye meya omo basic school eba free SHS ya omo di improfim kwan eso putuprum e kwan so a omo de be share ye kon ya e de hwese no ma ya e de abo awofo e de abo ankwada yi hwese de ankwada si abo apeso e wo classrooms hwese de ankwada apeso e wo boarding facilities na facility no kra wai na say His Excellency John Mahama wana niswa di hunu mo dan na di say oh ye kwa ya nim no enkwada no mpo afri eya ho kire we mu no mu wura suapon a me ma de so ambeso awofo e ka ne bi magiafa na sa nkofo ye a wo mu de sa free as just tantan we aba no abagira bonten ka jamo say de Mahama mo kan enye ye Dr. Clement Apakwa we member of parliament ma de chia wo Busa South embeso so enu enti no abafia na go so obabeshia adwada on bibi to no kwam. You see and the way oma yama no ma ye basa wo memu ano you just can't fathom nienti amanfo bi eda so di o machi. And it's not like my better me did obi atemo obi de boni diwa also who say, look, I go me question to nan in China, or the me be say you what you want free no. Obi the bibi about three say, Honorable His Excellency. Now, manamo. No, it cannot be like that. Honorable Dr. Clement Apakaba, Yebedin Komo, or my not tenacity, no. Dwabo Ase Power 97.9 and a TV XYZ. Honorable, Yamaji Wakwaba.
Kwam, me Joso, me Chiaunu, TF4, PAM4, Radio, TV XYZ, Power FM 97.9. Me Boma Basso, Ene, Juma Moody, Ediabua. Omangana.
Yeah, that's
no busa kura mitiemu. Sanity.
Matepa busa for haya no muti.
Oh, as always.
Any TV na haya no motion.
Ntamo kura ya mechi o mobusi ngamena mapusu amena soluk.
Ko?
Ne yiri zan abwa kunala na nyini. Kani bika Dr. Park alokuwa jo mama. Ti chienkuma ni jite Dr. Park. Ni jite jo mama. Apak ngmape, mama ngmape. Se mama bae mrani omode mano no. Nto anusu kae. Apak mape, mama mape.
Apak mape,
mape.
Ena mama mape.
Mape.
Mofaya.
Chese obe tu mape ama apak. No atu mape ama jo mama.
Wow.
Sanity.
Mape no di betri we chemi fufuro. But kasa nede.
Ede.
Metuama mahama ne yatuama apak.
Sanity.
Mape.
Mape.
Mahama mape.
Enti uka se jo mama no maje so mape. Apak no maje so mape.
Wow.
There so neni into no so can be.
Wow.
So if your videos now.
Yeah.
Bo say yeah rally no.
That's right.
Na me interpreter.
That's right.
It's mape JM can be. Obi ani age.
Na just obi abe mape.
Oh. Almost on that cry.
Wow. But you see, normally say no to say the okay rallies are hot or dombe poor bar e be ba bonti e be ba be hia. Nia ye hunu wa bra jomama ebo aprono. Eye organic na say mo na mo share kira mo pia nkofo e ba abonten e na e de na kira say on December 7 2024 ampampa on be fru makoma mu ato amamo because baomia so kwa eye the same thing ye hunu
kwame me da se bebre em say 2024 aba ye kutu no obroni be kan the options are clear ye nyina ye nipa nso de se obi ba na se obesre ade firi wo ho a na saade no eye tumi a wo de be ma no na wo gidie se odi sa tumi no ebedi dwuma e be bo wa se wo hwe wa sitinem.
That's right.
Anti dompem na eya na jomama ekobe bia Roma be peso no. Anya kwa. Hwa de nti aminim de America no. Minimum nkrofo bia nka 2016 2020 gun won e rally ase. Politics kran ko mun kabe. But 2024 abaya ekotui no. Sani pani de brenana wo ma sore gina. Ena esan se amamo bone a akufado ne baomia ede abagana ahokyira aba yesika wo mo ne omo busuafo a ejapade Ghana fo ye japade a wo mo hwem echeche no Ghana fo nim into omo nim se sankrofo we se ya toma won ye da ache ne de ye ni bibio
bagana fo kuro ya so na baomia ba no mo enina nenam ne ho ebia na wa tu no mo fam no mo bam no mo tia no mo omo manaso
na se MVP omo se amanyoku
edi ntira
nti ayede ya MVP for de se omo flag bearer ba undumi nka se mo mpie ebio yenim se sika de wo ma wie bi pa anye bi ampo no de ko hu osisilia da pa dem aya nei wa fa no hu adi afa ne sika di no yenim se na enye ono nko a na sa sika pudo ni bi ekwohye ne dem.
That's right.
Edi omo kwa sika no yomo to pete na wona kom de na eyi wo Sam George Adawruma afere ye nyina ye gietum wo 011 anase 110 anase na se nkura 001 na se unim se wo ko baomia anase MPP rally 200 500 nka wonko ade ande ese nka me kura menya nka meko meje 500 ma san totia no
esika no mo chicha amafo ba
na nya me na make say wa wo ni tua
but edwom ho no so edwom na obetwa so edwom picture no edwom video no edwom abaomia na ma adwadifo bɔgye no so na bia bɛbam no bra
and say
abiriwa bi ɔte ne baabi no ɔsɔ no poma na
ɛno de wundimi nka sɛ ma ɔmo nya ne saa na ɔmo kɔfie na sɛ ɔmo kɔda na ɔmo dwene deɛ ɛkɔ so no na onim sɛ kane no na nka fuel petrol wɔtɔ 1 whole gallon 15 cedis na ɛnɛ wɔtɔ the same gallon for almost 70 cedis ɔno onim beebi a ɔman ne kɔ na onim sɛ nkankyene wotumi tɔ nkyene 20 pesos 50 pesos na ɛnɛ fumbisi market sɛ wonni 5 cedis a wontumi ɛntɔ nkyene eburo a yɛatoto na nka ɔtɔ no 50 pesos 1 cedi a ɛnɛ eburo a yɛatoto wɔbɛtua 3 cedis fumbisi no aka deɛ 5 enyo obi na beka akire se bebia o man ne kono enko ne ye
but doc the American say some of the people are work say enyo obi na beka no they are even living in denial. Look, Mama said,
yes, I agree with you. I agree. No, I'm not arguing. I won't hear cross over video.
No, so after Baumia, so one man.
Yeah, it's a share. Cronfo or your cronfo, Woodini or Woodini. Or not to a nipper more penasum. That's sanity.
Wow.
Na omwombe to abane de wombe susu wombe kari o de beto to ho we ba ye de na oyeye driver ni me de na omo yeye sa driver we nsi ni me de na omo yeye de na omo aka so me de na omo aka so me wana eji ni di wana oba ya ye ho toye omo ni bebi a ekọ nti undumi nka se me na mawo me bana wabe yokubola ye kronfo and inti me bana ba ma menjina wa wetu nti ano so de ewo ho it's just part of human nature
but we edwomo obi anim obi political party affiliation
fato ho na meka
but me so be ka say asem na ye di ho komo no edwom obi anim obi political affiliation
but you cannot say that no matter how bad and terrible somebody is announcing the policies you wouldn't find somebody who would appreciate those bad policies or that bad character. That one there, you cannot force them. But say Ghana for okay. And I believe that on average, a reasonable mind, devoid of politics, now say we share the conditions of life, the cost of living, the challenges of youth unemployment, the challenges in the educational sector, health sector, and as for. You know that as a rational Ghanaian, no. You have a choice between continuing with a failed, corrupt, reckless, dishonest, deceitful government and an honest, genuine, hardworking, patriotic group that would sacrifice everything that they have to ensure say ubia burden. So Ghanaians have a clear choice.
Still on the campaign trail, we voter region. His Excellency John Mahama Nimo NDC more targeted over 90%. Is that not highly ambitious? Voter region.
Sir, it is a target. And you know, we are going to work towards it. Sir, your flag bearer your mama dear. Or any dear. But party man also. Parliamentary candidates. Any a grad rules. Yes, you obey dear. Into unknown banners obey yet. The obey na okwa. Then it is now our responsibility to go to the ground and ensure that target now was setting. We can achieve it. But if we present the issues and we explain the options, now yam faton na ye bisa won. We there. Anyam na make on.
Yeah.
Anya your mama na account.
Yeah.
President Kufuor na kai o say there. She was sitting them. She was sitting them. She was sitting them. She was sitting them na to abapa. Sa na beba no.
Wow.
So was sitting ya. Say unim. Say nyanso a. Say unim. Na mo amoye sentrofo.
Yeah.
Na say Ghana for frame.
Right.
Almost almost sitting mo ya. Nti. But no be gina so.
E no wo ho. But voter region so de anka mo stronghold eni se mo bre ho ana
saa na tie but a stronghold no enkyerɛ sɛ ɛma wo ɛmbɔ ho mmɔden anaasɛ ɛma wo ma w'ani mbre because aba yɛ kɔtui no yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ MPP sika deɛ wɔma wie bi yɛn nyinaa ehu deɛ course wɔ ase nɔf yɛn nyinaa yɛnim ɛno nti na sɛ wɔbɛhwɛ amampanin dada John Dramani Mahama yɛ flag bearer beebi a wɔbɛkɔ biara no busa sa ɔdɔ kan yɛ because mi ntoma nyanteɛ sɛ mi opponent ɔne nam na wɔkyekyɛ sika yes
MPP ni
yes
wɔkyekyɛ sika
wɔkyekyɛ sika and see that is why His Excellency always makes the case that hwɛ wɔ sitinam na hwɛ wɔn nso will wait your value so obi bɛba ma wo 200 Ghana cedis 500 Ghana cedis 1000 Ghana cedis na wakɔto abama no na mfie ɛnan
twawabɔ
wɔtwawabɔ wusu abenedie ɔyaw katahyehyɛ prɔyɛ akwan no yɛnyɛ asibiti yɛnsi school fees ayɛ asɛm wokɔ asibiti ananse national health insurance koraa dodoɔ no ɛnyɛ adwuma deɛ hi na ɛho wɔn fa soɔ ɛne deɛ ɔbɛba a ɔbɛyɛ kwan ɔbɛsi school ɔbɛfa teacherfoɔ ɔde 24-hour economy ɛbɛba 3-shift system ama ɛmamu no ɔmo nyɛ adwuma ɛtumi nya bi ayɛ ɔbɛyi betting tax na asefoɔ afiri hɔ then you compare ɛno koraa no betting tax ama maadwene akɔ biribi so mehu wɔ Ghana web sɛ yɛse former majority leader chairman sɛ bonsu ɛsɛ mampanin dada John Dramani Mahama yɛ flag bearer adɛn na ɔseɛ sɛ ɔbɛba betting tax ɔbɛtwam abrɛ a ɔyɛ kristoni nam sɛ na wonim sɛ loto ɛyɛ betting na sɛ ɛnya adɛn na mobaɛ mantwam adɛn na mode sɛ meawuku ɛde akɔ National Lotteries Commission exactly it is what me the Pentecost and the Assemblies of God elder Mama ni post the general overseer of betting supremo I know the anyasem na the ɔse boys esan say adwuma ni hɔ na ɔmo no so ya na ɔmo akɔtwa kakra onya kitwe bia na ɔde akɔhwɛ ne hafa na mo sa atibie frum eti ɔno ba boys ɔmo nya ɔmo lack ɛhya na so onya ɔmfa na ade ɔwo se ɔno de eni so tumi ka ne saa ɛne anka munyi sɛ me awu konfiri hɔ na muntwa National Lotteries Authority mu
but I didn't know ɔmo tie sa because what here President Mahama na asɛm no wan kan si wo ɔto aso ka sɛ wabra wayi afiri hɔ no na 24 hours
ɛbana sɛ mmam no nye adwuma ya
exactly
so you can see sɛ ɔno no odwen kɔ akyire ɔno ahu sɛ part of the reason mmam no ɛyɛ betting dodoɔ na ɛyɛ betting ɛne sɛ ɔmo ni adwuma and so the 24-hour economy ne ba 3-shift system na bia in the area of road construction say they see yɛn wɔ abrokyire no yɛbɛyɛ na adwunyina na ɛyɛ nti adeɛ bɛkya no pa na yɛyɛ wie no na wogyiri sɛ ɔyɛ mason anaasɛ ɔyɛ ɔde sɛn steel bender na sɛ in the area of construction wonya adwuma ɔno koraa ɔbɛnya adagye akɔyɛ bɛtɛ
dependence no bɛkɔ fam
ɔbɛnya adagye akɔyɛ bɛtɛ and you know John Mahama is seeing this as a temporary challenge
to deal with the temporary
but the holistic solution is to create opportunities for young men and women to get decent jobs and to earn decent pay so that they can look after themselves and their family. And so to me, then we can move on. But you are not giving jobs to the young men and women. They are idling around. They have nothing to do. And they go to bed. And when they are lucky, you want to take some of the bed. And you think that we should applaud you. Versus Obia or say on the Onfan and Sanka. Yeah? Boys, he tell me, oh. Tell them say JM. Oh no.
Strict
or your Bema.
Yeah.
As an old vandal, no. He knows He's a man of the streets. He was trained in the Great Commonwealth Hall. So I can say, call me JM. No, when you post in a SM, go be a. One shall say, "Okay, friend JM, I want you na you were free meeting nasi."
Nadia him for cry.
South here. Oh, sorry, na chairman. He was even able to come to the level of the street.
Yeah.
Say, okay, pigeon na. I say, you know, say we all know say work no day.
That's right.
So boys, therefore try find how far.
But for be a one just no money no. And ya about 20 now, John Mahama ye no wasa.
There be say over kaya sa announcement we announce sa same way okaya nyene. He spoke about it even before the youth forum at Bukum boxing arena. Into enya dia about 20. And it's the right thing to do.
And from JM ne pigeon here walking Kenya no.
Oh, and then the JM aka pigeon. Yeah, you need JM aye jumada no. Look, if we are to extol his virtues, his dexterity in terms of his knowledge base, his capacity and ability. Here we program. We wouldn't finish. Look, I have a PhD. And I earned it. But I can tell you that when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to somebody who is holistic, an intellectual. People confused intellectualism with degrees. Having degrees doesn't make you an intellectual.
Okay.
But JM is the quintessential intellectual. Look, he is good at every sector. Look, bring health. He can speak to matters of health without looking at notes. Bring education, bring trade, bring finance, bring foreign relations. Look, those of us who have worked with him, in those days, now Flagstaff House, team, you to me a drafted speeches, then I say for we were always sure, no matter how best you think the speech has been written. And when you look at what he has done, you see that that is the point. He's just simply a very intelligent man who is multifaceted and has the dexterity to engage on multiple subjects knowledgeably.
Na baumia the issue on nama what you have and also about 20 and also sanot here. What you have for do baby and sa
look
normal.
Now Unim say Baumia's selection as flag bearer no. Do you know it was predicted in the Japadia document?
Oh yeah.
Go to the preface. Say
say yempo be afraid tifido.
Look for that as Akufo-Addo is going towards the end of his tenure. Just paraphrase it. The Ashanti group is looking forward to taking over. Then it goes on to say, but they must find ways to bypass the Ashanti group. And that if they work hard, they can identify somebody from the north whom they can support to take over from Akufo-Addo. And that by doing so, no, Sani Pakrono obe pledge no full loyalty. But that person would not know. Say the person is being put there to ensure that the Echepadia project comes to full maturity.
Now,
so he's a pawn in the game.
Wow.
And if anyone who has followed the trajectory, how the MPP presidential primaries, the way it went on, and all the machinations, the mobilization from, the beneficiaries of what we believe to be the authentic blueprint Ejapadia document. You see very clearly who was representing the Ashanti group.
Alan, in chain.
One successor to Akufo-Addo in terms of leading the MPP.
Mahmoud Baumia, Wale Adam Smith.
So you see, he himself is not even aware that he's a pawn in the game. And that is why from the onset, I've always said, even before this Ejapadia document came to my attention, I've always said that Bawumia is not a man of his own.
The Okanini, and on a two screens one. Two Kanya now back as
yes.
We conclude. Okay, no,
not the first.
Well, of course, you know.
No, although the Ashanti group within the current MPP is gearing itself to take over the party after Nana's tenure in 2024, it would be ideal if we could work to bypass them in 2024.
Yeah.
With hard work, we could work to pass the mantle over to a non-account person, preferably from the north, under whose presidency we could secure the maturity of our takeover project.
Look,
many of us knew that this was a plan even before we saw the Jeopardy document. And this
but President deny or chief man he deny. So many more share, baby.
Now, one tier Toba Fede. Toba Fede said, and he's one of many, that when he first became aware of this document, now in Jindi, but the companies were referenced in the document. The kinds of things that were going on have given him reason to rethink. And many. But even the removal of John Boedu as General Secretary, is it not in the document? And analysis and I will share that with you. Well, share that point by point.
Yeah.
Almost 80% of what has been stated has been achieved.
Interesting. It's year 2024 about one. What are you education and a free basic ecosystem upon. Nano to upon the end alcofa, Chemaria and Obechum. A free basic ecosystem upon. And this is your mamma's and Susu dear, and as an Nisra Duno, diade.
Oh, sir, manifesto na Ankasano. And Yamba Toja. And he, as a disciplined member of the NDC and member of parliament, say minim de womu kra in the educational sector na mean to mean ka just said dear mampeni abosono and I said
that's right
2020 because I can tell you that most of the ideas that we propose in 2020, many of them are still ready because what has changed? In fact, the situation has worsened. We can talk about some of the challenges and talk about what the the NDC would seek to do or what the flag bearer has talked about. One teacher for kuo edim komo. And in some of those discussions, so utie ni here issues are a buyer or can wasem. One, the issue of capitation grant. Now, capitation grant no hu pa. Capitation grant no ena ama ya kase Ghana basic education free. Because the capitation grant grantor buying edebema heads of basic schools to be able to run and administer the schools. The capitation grant is what the head teachers are supposed to use to buy things like attendance registers, chalk, say a ponobi ebu anase nkonyane bubu ana omodibi etua carpenter na wabe krekre say a dino akrakea na omaye, and then to finance activities like sports, any cultural activities. But as I say, capitation grant no enko wano, and as we are speaking, government owes capitation grant arrears for 8 tranches.
Wow.
8 tranches.
How many years? No.
A tranche is usually to cover a term.
Okay.
At the 8 tranches, would be the equivalent of almost 2.5 to 3 years.
Jesus.
One of the challenges that our public basic school system is facing is the challenge of running the public basic schools efficiently. And because of that, our funny baby, M% or mama so over 2 million on percent the Babeko public basic school because the tools and the accoutrements needed are not available. Many of these head teachers, they have gone to take loans to keep the schools running. Some of them have also taken services of carpenters, of masons on credit. As we are speaking today, one head teacher told me that one of the dreaded positions for one to be given today is to become the head of a public basic school, because you must make it work. And one worker said when he comes, he would ensure that capitation grants are released timeously.
We identify the area a sick kwanya emma capitation grant no embedru ntem.
Sir, request number parliament. Yeah, granted, and we did that for 2024. The idea is the finance ministry, which is supposed to release the funds to the Ministry of Education for onward transmission to head teachers, when we release this canon. And it is a matter of priority.
Wow.
Sir, it is obvious, sir. It's not a priority. They rather would prioritize Omodi Esika. Ebokwakutu Amena Kasia Entise in the name of fulfilling a promise made by Akufo-Addo to God, rather than finance releasing the money for the ministry to send the money to the head teachers.
Okay.
And see, it is simply an issue of priority. You bet me at almost $12 million. I'm a contractor. Abra one year Juma. Say OC Kwalagu multipurpose dam. Abra Yankwara Homo School. One money textbooks. You are aware that when you want to change curriculum.
That's right.
The new curriculum, I'm friend of standard-based curriculum, came into effect in September 2019. Even before that, the current running mate of the MPP, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe, was then the Minister for Education. So, as part of that new curriculum, what the BB said, comprehensive sexuality education. I mean, you and I, you remember, severally, we led the fight, and finally they had to back down. And on day, say, you bet me a chair and Korano, every kg. Say, Bema bet me a worry Bema, or Ba bet me a worry or Ba. A Kora bet me a Mammy from you, with all apologies to Reverend Kusi Boate, and I said the other name, also no Mammy from you. He was born on 2 different days, and yet he's really walking around.
Yeah.
But this is the type of policy that it was introduced. If we hadn't fought for it, to be withdrawn. But the point I'm seeking to make is if you look at the issue of the changing curriculum, now you're changing curriculum since September 2019. I now mean who can say only 65% of the requisite textbooks based on the new curriculum have been provided. And that is another challenge affecting basic education. So H.E. John Amane Mama has indicated that under his tenure, every single student in a public basic school would have access to a textbook. And he did it before. When we were in power, when our running mate was the Minister for Education. Did you ever hear, sir, people in our public basic schools had no access to textbooks? So that is another area that will be addressed in terms of basic education.
And another problem I identify at a basic level, entity no said yes, and no crack can be Nayana, a bimunya scar. Private school.
Yes, the issue of absenteeism.
Yes.
Answer na yebe fair bemuno. Under John Amane Mama and then Minister for Education, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, teacher absenteeism was at 7%. 7%.
A teacher rate to Adonko.
Yes.
And a holiday.
7%.
7%.
Today, I was just looking at some figures before coming.
Yeah.
Teacher absenteeism by an education sector CSO, known as Associates for Change, is back to about 26%.
Wow.
Yes.
Because
na teacher for no kwano, womoko school, Acadia no. That is no excuse. But the truth is that Acadia no anyhow. Even the district education offices say woman monitoring motorbikes, any cars, and what's a omutimi boa pro, no more checky in the schools. We members of parliament, and if any member of parliament is listening to me now, would confirm, we are the people that the district directors would make requests to help them buy fuel, to help them buy tires, to help them get motorbikes, so that the supervisors can be going round. But that is supposed to be the work of central government. Look, as I'm speaking to you today, WASI 2024 is coming up. Can you believe that for practicals, government has failed to remit the cost of practicals to a number of secondary schools? I got a request to help finance the practicals for one of the secondary schools in my constituency only yesterday.
Wow.
Only yesterday. And I have the letter. 10,000 for practicals, chemistry, NASIFO, dressmaking and all of that. Why should that be the case? So that should tell you the challenges bedeviling the educational sector as far as this government is concerned. Look at the school feeding program. And then I mean, okay, say school feeding. I know your name say which has over the time, has increased enrollment and ensured retention. As I said, now Ankorano ne awo for ni name say ono kwa any 5 cities and then cry Akorano kwa the 5 cities manner and so no. Yes. Because you cry your turn saying. Now say oko school, the child will be fed a nutritious meal. If you look at the definition of the school feeding program, you're supposed to provide a hot and nutritious meal. So here. Today, the allocation per child per day, 1 cedi 20 pesos. The 1 cedi 20 pesos. Kosi aya no akwa betimi ato. And even when the school feeding caterers, Omoko demonstration, Ashanti region, and they are threatening again to go because there are pieces of information that they are not being paid. When they made the request that government should consider increasing it to 5 cities, we debated it in parliament. I raised it severally. I've even filed questions on this school feeding because everyone knows that at that time when it was 99 pesos, it was not fit for purpose. And even at that time, inflation, food inflation was not at the current level. Now, to me, I'm on 5 cities cry, at least 3 cities here. But you have given them 1 cedi 20 pesos.
It's mobile.
Obviously, we are going to have to look at the current conditions, and then we would give them allocations commensurate to the living conditions of our time, because we cannot continue poisoning our own words. What they are feeding the children. No. Anyway, I am
free.
Or the saying free first, senior high school issues. I don't think we should talk too much about that.
Senior high school, any capitation grant, baby, as be free by here because on senior high school, must say more the sustainable source of funding and a better set up a free SHS.
That's right.
Sustainable source of funding, no, and he fund be free back.
Now, sir, we are an oil producing country. We have oil revenue. And once it is our priority to provide a sustainable source of funding, that is one option. The other option is also to cut down on wastage in public expenditure. For example, Office of Government Machinery.
Yeah.
In other words, presidency.
Yeah.
Maybe Baumiane Akufo-Addo, Omo office is one.
Yeah.
Since 2017, Omo buy. Every 2017 besine. Omo ho kra no 1.5 billion
And I can say, I'm 2 billion.
Exactly. For this year, it's over 2 billion.
Yeah, 2 billion.
Last year, it was about 3 billion.
That's right.
The year before, 2020, they now have 4 billion. And you know, we have also worked there before. And thankfully, John Dramani Mahama has been in this position before. And he has also raised questions about these colossal amounts of money allocated to the office of the president or government machinery. There no moya wa. Utmi tam sikaputu IT say Emma office of government machinery. So clearly, since we have a habit of not pardon allocations, we can redirect some of those billions, to finance the fee-free first year level 100 proposal to augment free senior high school. We also have oil revenue, as I said earlier, and also to deal with other intervention programs like the capitation grant and then school feeding. And if there is the will, there is a way, because the resources are there. The challenge we have today is that those who are in charge, maybe a Ghana for person omudi esika eko na juma ye person omudi esika edima no enyo ho ena omakuma eda. Okay. And so that is the difference.
Afeyemra level 100 ye no eye dia de na moka ehfa eka de ye na mo pese mu som eye kani nyina anase ebi
say wa hwe youth manifesto na.
Yeah.
It states very clearly that it's going to be covering academic fees. Academic fees. And dodo na ebisa say adentina ye ne saa adentina yen ka say yen hwehwe omo a wo muntumi entua na yen so omo asene.
Yeah.
All those are legitimate questions.
Very, very legitimate.
But as a policy, you must think globally. You must think globally. And then when you begin the implementation, from time to time, you conduct reviews.
But they are not
reviewing free
They're not thinking globally.
But they are not reviewing it. Do they even accept the word review?
Well, reviewing the so
shouldn't they have reviewed it?
Were they not thinking globally?
Granting that they were thinking globally. But you see, let me pose this question this way.
Yeah.
The same people who say that free senior high school, they introduced it, although we contest that.
Yeah.
And that we shouldn't discriminate. Ubia say, Upapa and also mommy bet me a trio, won't mean trio. You should also benefit. Are now querying us for saying that we are going to support first year level 100 students for only 1 year. And they are asking us that what happens after the first 1 year.
Yeah.
Because if we are saying that our intervention, rightly so, is to assist them to overcome the barrier.
Yeah.
The barrier of entry and taking their places into the tertiary institutions and also universities. What happens after the first year?
And in fact, then it's then it's a miracle. No, you're very specific.
You don't worry.
Was it near one be
no? Nah. Near only be na. Omo na omo sie o. Free senior high school at Daruma. Wait me a passing. Awufo no eni bi no. We apply to Legon. And I say KNUST and I say UCC. Na say fana
2005.
So are we saying that it is okay for us to support the students to obtain secondary education, the same poor students, but a better Sharia? We should ignore them.
Wow.
So Dennis's argument is defeatist.
But plan
so what we have said is since in our engagements with young people, and as a member of parliament, I can even show you messages. Every academic year, first year students, either directly or through their parents, the request they make to me to support them to pay the fees for their wards to take up their places.
Yeah.
Because the won't pay fees now. Won't go school numpo. And then I am our ID card. And then I have my student number. And then I assign courses na for. So you must first pay to become part of the system and have all of these credentials and answer identifications.
Yeah.
And know the bit me amawo, it me apply to student loan trust for the student loan, and answer get fund for a get fund scholarship. It our proposal is that we would help them overcome the first hurdle. So by supporting them with money to defray or by government absorbing the academic fee, once they then become students and they get all of these identifications, the other thing we are going to do, and it is synergized, is that we are going to decap get fund. Because get fund has been capped by this government. Yes. I know just say sika was a get fund, the get fund levy. I was 100% in get fund.
Okay.
It's only a percentage that goes. Another issue is this government has collateralized. How many get fund akosia and how many $1.5 billion. Said they were going to use that to augment educational infrastructure. Say they be secondary school and Kwarano. Say they are peace and manisa. That is not even happening. So when we decap get fund will be able to get the full complement of the funding. Dudwana Enim said the student loan trust receives its funding from get fund.
Wow.
Student loan trust is not independent. Student loan trust receives its funding from get fund. But Esan said get fund is inflows now ever get fund hono. Get fund itself is suffering to meet its commitments. And the amount that goes to a student loan trust, and also, as I'm speaking to you, we had an engagement with the student loan trust, the education committee at Eburi, and they told us they are not able to meet even half, not even a quarter of the request that students put in. And on based on their own website, so of course student loan trust on the website, they give between 2,000 and 3,000 a year, not a semester, a year. Now in this system that we are, for a tertiary level student, do you truly think that 2,000 Ghana cedis a year, and very few get because of the factors now, medical, abubosono. So the point I'm trying to make is that once we decap get fund, and we work to resolve the collateralization, and the decapping, definitely that is a matter of law to come to parliament. And that will have the majority to decap get fund. Get fund will get its full complement. We will then re-engineer the student loan trust. We have already provided the support for these first years who have gained admission to get on campus, to be able to apply for the student loan through the student loan trust. Student ID. Yeah. Identification. Any you must was able to me say you are enrolled. Who was your porno? So I don't know baby exactly. Now when you exactly. Okay. So until you have all of those requirements, you don't even qualify to apply. It is for Bosiano. Now say if we rearrange get fund by decapping it, now you augment revenue now a student loan trust now. Yeah. By the second year of the student, now we were all the needed documentation in ASIFO to be able to apply. So the first year is the most difficult, and so we are not just limiting ourselves. And yes, ya buano emano ko hwa na enwa no na bosia no betima so eka wo mo I mean sika wo behia
wabro mo second and
so that is why I'm saying you better augment it. Okay. Because if you look at the current arrangement now, so student loan trust omo website no so almost say 2 to 3,000. And if we can increase the pot of money that comes to Get Fund can also increase the allocation to the student loan trust. About the sign that the student loan trust can also then increase the quantum of money that will be assigned to a student from year 2 going on. It is a synergized proposal. It is not a one-off.
But you're talking about Omaya Yedakemo. 2026 bilateral agreement na yakono. It was here to
yeah, Kwame.
It is still a mibusa sikano.
Look, yeah, yamfa information there.
So what you more? Okay. Mama the information on my yet President Mahama wabra sa argument ya be. What the clarity be
very well. Very well.
I've seen students who have been offered admission but who have not been able to take their places in university because their families simply cannot afford to pay the fees. There was a case of a medical student in Upper East region who was working on the farm. He had passed with A's throughout, and he was called to medical school. But he was on the farm with his parents and couldn't go to take up his admission because he couldn't afford the fees. There are many other students like that. You think 2,500 CDs or something is small. For some families to be able to put 2,500 CDs together is a real struggle. And so we don't want, especially in the first year, when the students are coming in for the first time, for them to go through what we call fee stress. And that's why we call it a no fee stress policy. And so we're saying that we can absorb the academic facilitator fees, but it will not affect the subventions of government to the universities and institutions of higher learning. The subvention from government has kept declining. We're going to increase the subvention, but apart from that, we're going to make sure that the university gets their subvention on time so that they can balance their budgets. And we've costed it. And we approximate that for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions, it should cost anywhere between 270 to about 290 million Ghana cedis. Let me tell you something. The president, a few years ago, his travel budget for traveling in 9 months amounted to 69 million Ghana cedis. They held one cabinet retreat at the presidency, one cabinet retreat. You know how much it cost? It cost almost 5 million Ghana cedis for a cabinet retreat. There is so much waste in the system. And even if you look at the Office of President budget alone, you'll be able to cut to raise enough money to pay academic facility user fees for all level 100 students.
Eti, I don't know, His Excellency your mama.
Openi kasana. There's openi jwarana. Sana tie, but eno na mebu bosu no.
Yeah.
Eti se ohwe de oho sisi. Africa Education Watch, me yonko, Kofi Asare. We all know say Africa Education Watch is one of the most respected education sector think tanks in the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah.
Ono de tuja. Say in 2023-24 academic year, the number of students who got admission in public tertiary institutions, you know, now only 125,000. And roughly, if we say that the academic user facility fee, and that's academic fee, as I've looked at the figures, you know, it ranges between sometimes 1,900 to about 2,500 thereabout.
Okay.
If you do the figures, even if we take 2,000 as an average, if you multiply that by 125,000. It is less than 300 million Ghana cedis. We are not even talking about dollars. It is said John Mama King. It is about priority. And since he is going to run a lean, efficient government. And no waba one kase Yamana share 4 billion cedis, 3 billion cedis, 2 billion cedis. And even from the office of the president allocation alone, said here, Akufa Dore Baumia, Esia Pejamana Kosro, Amenu Yenim de Omode. We can redirect some of those resources to finance it annually. 300,000. It will not affect IMF relations. It will not affect anything. This is money that is already in the system that is being used, and the IMF has recognized that. What is the IMF? Aka say the money that was allocated to the Office of Government Machinery, they should reduce it. So we will redirect that and rechannel some of those resources to take care of this very important social intervention program. Very well. I don't know, Mampeni Akano. Very well. On one, Wakamame. This is because you to me, yeah. Yes, who you made me it's a matter of priority. Even National Cathedral. Have we not spent 336 million Ghana cedis on the National Cathedral? So-called National Cathedral. In fact, so many they Ghana for. Sika yediama Chinese contractor. I want you Palugu, and yet $12 million. Multiply $12 million by 16. The current rate of the cedi to dollar ratio. Can't we do this? Keta Port. For almost 8 years. Yafa CEO and staff. Ye Tionka. Abrashi and Koso. Sasika didn't mean for more and look, let the hypocrites continue to be hypocrites. This is what we are going to do. As I say, Mampeni, Dada, incoming president, John Dramani Mahama Aka, that his focus is the youth. Because that is the future of this nation. And Bibi Biara Obeye, Ama e Mamunu, Etimianya, school ako, Esuya dear, Ama Omadrimo, Ebie, no more tumpong, no more Tumiako Manim, Obeye. Bibi Biara Obeye, Ama e Mamunu, Etimianya Jumaye, through the 24-hour economy. Obeye. He's also even talked about the apprenticeship program, which is supposed to cater to a Mamuna woman ko school or He's going to bring in master craftsmen. They will be certified. These young men and women, regardless of the trade that you want to pursue, you will be assigned to a master craftsman. The master craftsman will be paid. Tools are here. Say over hairdressing, over seamstress, over carpenter, over mason. You be pay amount. We are now some tools to be amount. A startup kit. That is the future of this nation. That is why NDC must be voted into power. That is why John Dramani Mahama must be given the mandate. That is why he needs a majority in parliament so that we can implement these good policies and also hold the corrupt, reckless, insensitive, nation-wrecking Ejapadia gang to book.
Honorable Dr. Clement Apak. Once a soldier, always a soldier.
It's the Busa way. Combining the Busa way and the Vandal way. It's a deadly combination.
Powerful combination.
But the truth would always stand. Know that is our motto. Commonwealth. And that is your motto too. Truth stands.
Truth stands. The youth is on fire. But also Honorable Dr. Clement Apak. Or the Power Mid Morning Bro Radio. So what TV so ya you na ya bomonyo.